Good evening, folks. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Yeah, we're on about 20 minutes before 11. We caught you off guard a little bit early tonight. Good to see everybody here. Hope you enjoyed our show this morning. Our show from last night with April and myself, the Ashtar Command Q&A, that's now downloaded on my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on TikTok. So the Ashtar Command Q&A from last night, for those who missed it, hey, brother. Hey, Chesno, good to see you. That show has been re-downloaded on I downloaded it on my other application. I've got to get more gigabytes on my phone here, and I think I'm going to get myself an iPhone. I think I have to upgrade to an iPhone here, but greetings, good to see you. And also, the show from this morning will be downloaded at some point between now and tomorrow morning from this morning's Cosmic High show. So we'll be all caught up. So I'm using my iPad for downloading my shows here from TikTok. It's just, this one is like I'm 99% full on storage. So I'm getting either more gigabytes, I'm going to get a card for it, and then I'm going to get an iPhone, I think. So that's the deal. Good evening, everybody. Good to have you all with us. Please share and like. We're on a little bit early tonight. We're not on at 11. We're on before 11, catching you all a little bit off guard there with my live broadcast. We're going to get into a few things. I've been watching a lot of video footage from different states, from people on TikTok. Some of these people have never, ever talked about UFOs. Some of these people don't even probably never got into the subject. They're not ufologists. They're not experts. They're just going with the bandwagon. And so everyone's talking about this thing. And some of them might be knowing what they're talking about. I'd say most of them are just TikTokers that are just doing it because maybe they'll get a whole bunch of people that watch their little video for 3 minutes or whatever. So we're going to get into that discussion. And I have been quietly listening to some of these videos. And I saw one with a guy walking past DC police, a whole bunch of police cars, and they're all like, the police people are like not blockading anything. They're all chatting with each other. It could be for a whole different purpose, unrelated to what people are talking about. But on TikTok, you know how people are, and probably on YouTube, everyone jumps the gun and says, oh, this is what happened. It's a meteor, it's a comet, it's a spaceship. You know, they're all jumping the gun. The commanders does not jump the gun, okay? We're going to talk about something different. We're going to talk a little bit about DC, and it's not just DC, but people saw this streak of whatever coming down from other states. So, you know, now if it's an airplane, and it was a small airplane, you would not see that streak in multiple states. There's no way. If it's a little Cessna or whatever, it's not going to have that streak in multiple states. There's no way. If it's a little Cessna or whatever, it's not going to happen. If it's a big airline jet, maybe, as it's coming down, maybe people would see it. I don't know how far away you can see a jet, commercial airliner or whatever from a different state. But again, nobody really knows what it is. Really, nobody knows what it is. No matter what anybody says, I don't have any explanation for it. I'm not jumping on any bandwagons here because my background's in news. I studied news and journalism when I was in college. So the one thing they taught me to do is to investigate before I come with a conclusion, right? Investigate before you have a conclusion. None of these TikTokers know what it is. They're all speculating. It's amazing how many people, one woman says, I don't usually talk about UFOs, and she's jumping in, giving her, whatever. The good thing about this show, this is a show dedicated, and I have a background in the subject, but I'm also a healthy skeptic. I want to know what crashed too, but I'm not jumping to the gun about what crashed because I have no idea. Nobody else does too. I couldn't get the words out there for a minute. Got tongue twisted. But nobody else does. Nobody. And I'm more interested in the fact that these spaceships, these people call UFOs, these spaceships that are appearing in different states now. Indiana, Tennessee, and a few other states, there have been active sightings of multiple objects in groups. That to me is more exciting. Of course, I want to know what happened to whatever it was that came out of the sky that people were seeing, but nobody knows what it is. And until we know what it is, it makes no sense to elaborate on something that we don't have any real information on, right? Nobody does. Nobody on YouTube and nobody on TikTok has inside information as to what happened. It's all going to be speculation until, even if it ever comes out, we'll never know. I don't think it's ever going to come. It might come out. Who knows? So we'll leave it for now on the table until we know what's really going on. And it just happened like 3 a.m. in the morning last night when most people were asleep. You know, could it be a big jetliner that went down like that? Maybe. Who knows? I am not going to speculate. Good to see everybody here. I'll talk about what I do know is happening, which is a lot, but I'll leave that to the speculators to do what they want to do. I won't get in speculating. If you see a lot of these speculative videos on YouTube, on TikTok, ignore it because they don't know. None of these people know anything. I hate to put it to them, they don't. If someone's got some inside information about DC, you can come on here and tell us what it is. I'll interview you. But unless you do, it's all speculation. So we're going to put that in the unknown factor box for now. But we do know that in Indiana, and I've been watching videos that are being taken by individual people, they're all seeing these like armada of about 3 or 4 or 5 little circular lights that are appearing, disappearing, and you can never see cars, but the past 5 days, sky full of stars. Interesting, Nicole. That's good that you're able to see stars for the past 5 nights. Always good to get out of the city, but city areas can also, hey Sloppy Joe, city areas can also have actual sightings. So we're on a little bit early tonight, so my larger audience probably doesn't know that we're on before 11. It's 10:48, and our audience will grow as we get into the evening here. Dina Vega, Dia, good to see you. Blessings. Blessings to everybody. Patrick, are the astronauts going to come home soon from the ISS? I don't know. Honestly, Patrick, I have no idea how that's going to work. Hopi, love, good to see you. Blessings. Blessings to everybody out there. And I got my apple cider. I just bought a whole gallon of local apple cider. And I got a bunch of cider for the whole week. End of the week, another whole gallon of apple cider. Sloppy Joe, we're doing well. Hope you are doing well, brother. Loretta, good to see you. Everybody coming in, good evening, welcome. And, one of the things we do here is we talk about the spiritual context of the subject of UFOs. And what does that mean? So we don't talk about nuts and bolts stuff. We get into the deeper areas of the subject. When you hear the word UFO, you think it's just about an unidentified flying object. It's a subject that is expanded into not just seeing a UFO, but also people that have been visited, people having contact. In 2024, it's gone a long way from its early days. People that have been abducted, people that are involved in crop circle research, people that are involved in the Antarctica area about inner bases of ET bases, things about the inner Earth, the star people that live in the oceans. So the UFOs is into a lot of different areas. Mosaic, just break down the road, extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, non-terrestrial. I get that a lot, bro, but I'm not. If I told you I was Adam Sandler, I'd be giving away my identity. Because Adam Sandler, I'm sure he's into the UFO subject matter. But I won't say I'm Adam Sandler because that would not be right. But thank you for thinking I was Adam Sandler. I've gotten a lot of people thinking that. I don't know how that possibly happens. Mary and Ray, good evening up there in the Appalachian Mountains. Hey, Kirby Girl, good to see you. And it's good to see everybody here. I recognize a lot of people, and there's always new people. Terry, welcome to the show, Terry. This is the number one spiritual, hey, Jim Bob, this is the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And what we do here is we bust the matrix of people's belief systems. If skeptics come in here, I will bust their matrix in 2 minutes. If non-skeptics come in here, I don't have to bust anything. That's easy. Hey, Tommy Taylor, good to see you. Yep. Frank Music Love. Good evening from Spain. Glad to have you with us in Spain. Good to have you with us. We're going to be doing some interviews in a few. And we have somebody named Monopoly, who I don't know. Monopoly wants to come up on the show. So here's the way it works before we just freely bring people up here. Being a professional broadcaster on NPR Radio, Pacifica Radio, for 21 years. Thank you, Kirby Girl. We appreciate that. So to be a guest on the show, please tell us in the comments what you want to talk about. If you tell us in the comments what you talk about, and then we bring you up, you're a troll, I will personally block you and knock you off the show forever. So if you're going to come up, you better be coming up for the right reasons and be over 18. No smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, no religion, no politics, no kids on the show. And again, you have to be over 18. And of course, if you hear the trains, we're not too far from the train station. So the trains come by, you're going to hear the trains. There you go. So again, to be a guest, you have to tell us what you want to share on the show related to the topic. And I see, look, my country, Envy. So you see Envy's in Spain, Frank? Frank, do you have sightings in Spain of the Envy? I think, and Envy means the same thing as UFO in Spanish. Same thing. Grand evening, Commander and Cosmic Family. Peace. Thank you, Slay. Good to be with you. Good to have you with us. Tula, welcome, Tula. Mama T, welcome, Mama T. Vertas 214. Carabella. Flocker, welcome, Flocker. I just like to mention Fucajan Lady. All the new people coming in here, welcome. Nisi 1111, I think it's 11111. Seen UFOs few yards away in 76 in Pennsylvania. Let's see here. Oh, okay. We're gonna, I think my first guest on the show is gonna be from Spain. The person from Spain, Frank, we'll bring you up. Frank, can you turn your camera on? So before you come up, set your thing. When I send you a guest request, there'll be a little camera icon. If you can press that and save it, you can come on visually. I usually like to have people, like you're seeing me, I want to be able to see my guests if they have the capability of going on camera. We're going to bring Frank up as our first guest from Spain. He'll be our first guest in Spain, and we're honored to have him on the show, on the most popular UFO talk show on social media. Hey, Frank, good evening.
Hello.
Or good morning or good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
And
night.
can you go on the camera? Do you know how to use the camera?
Yeah. Using the. Don't no, I don't worry. I to 20 minutes. I hop and Spain walking.
Okay, you come back on in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. I speak. No problem. Okay. My
Okay.
house. Children are sleeping
Oh, you're sleeping?
now. Yeah. My children are sleeping now.
Okay. Well, we'll bring you up when you're awake, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, Frank has a story to tell, but he's sleeping. Pit Stop, good to have you with us. And everyone else, and sending prayers to all. And I do hope some of our TikTokers are safe that were in the hurricane and that whole thing that happened. Lori, good to see that you're safe. Okay, I was the first to ask to come up. Monopoly. Okay, Monopoly, we're going to bring you up here. But Monopoly, tell me what you want to talk about. I'll bring you up. I don't know what you want to talk about. I just wanted to see. This is what I need. I need to tell. I saw you in the queue to come up, but I didn't know much about who you are and what you wanted to talk about. So just let me know what you want to talk about related to the subject, and I'll bring you up for sure. Monopoly. As soon as I see your sentence. Yeah, that's pretty silly. I'm sleeping. I don't know. Yeah, the Paranormal Patriot. Oh, I want to bring. Wait a minute. I got to do this first. Paranormal Patriot and I have been messaging each other. Monopoly, please wait. I'm going to bring him up because I know what's happening. Paranormal Patriot, if you can turn the camera on, brother. Yeah, I've been talking to Paranormal Patriot off the show, and we're going to talk about the Indiana stuff going on with the spaceships. Paranormal Patriot is our first guest. Monopoly. We will get to you after we get to this important discussion. And I do, and I have communicated with Paranormal Patriot. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Good. You've been really on top of this thing with Indiana. How did all these people connect with you regarding these sightings?
So basically, the first one I saw was from Marion, and I contacted the guy that saw it. So after I posted that video, I did like a little there was something strange, cited in Marion, posted that, and then people just hopped on, started messaging me on TikTok, all that.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. So tell us about. So I've been watching the videos. It's been great that you reposted actual footage from these people, and just let people see it for what it is. And I've seen the videos, and they're pretty impressive. So tell us about these videos. Is it just Indiana, or is it adjacent states too?
So yeah, there have been sightings in Tennessee and New York as well. There's been a couple in September that I guess I missed, but yeah. New York, Middletown, New York. I've gotten a couple sightings from there. That would have been 9/24. So yeah, September 24th.
And about the new ones in Indiana, I find intriguing. We have a show called Ashtar Command Q&A where I'm very connected. You don't know a lot about me, but you will. I'm very connected. I was a contactee in the 60s as a kid and had sighting right in my cul-de-sac of a spaceship, and went upstairs to my brother's room, or just before my teenage years. For no reason, everyone's downstairs. I open these blinds up, and there's a ship there, and there are men and women in light blue outfits, human like you and me, and they're telepathically telling me I'm not from here. That was the only visual time in my life that I remember. I remembered it all my life. So when you're talking about this, I asked, my friend April in Vermont. She's been on board ships over 100 plus times, having contactee experiences with the star people, which are the positive beings that are coming back to Earth that people talk about. So we have a lot of connections there. So you're a great guest, because I asked her about this, and I said they hear her show, they heard her on our show. We had like almost 300 people on, and I said, look, this person in Indiana they're getting all this footage from these people. Are these Ashtar Command spaceships these people are recording? And the Ashtar Command people on the ship said yes. So I want to give you information too, because we have very direct communications. We don't channel anything. This is the real stuff that we're doing, and most people can tell you that. You're great at doing what you're doing. You're documenting all this from all these people, and it's really important because these ships are actually Ashtar Command ships, even though you can't see them close up. Yeah. If they were close up, they'd be quite big compared to, the normal, tractor trailer or an 18-wheeler or something. They're way bigger than that. So these people have no idea what they're looking at, although they call them UFOs. I can tell you this, that they're seeing these ships. For the next 3 weeks, we've been told from the people on the ship that she's connected with that there'll be more sightings on and off in different states. And these people are going to see more. They're going to get more sightings. You're going to get more video footage coming too, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I've gotten sightings in Tennessee. I think Nashville, Tennessee, I've gotten a lot of sightings out of.
Wow.
Of course, I haven't posted everything I have yet, but
right. So you got too much, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Have you had any sightings?
No, unfortunately, I have not, but I would love to. Like, I work night shift, so I go outside a lot at night, like on my break and stuff. And I'm like, every night I'm thinking like, man, I'm looking up in the sky, like one of these guys is going to come and like take me away and all that stuff.
Really, with everything going on in the world. Yeah. So it's beautiful you're here. Now I'm following you. Now we're friends. Now there's a lot of stuff going. This is like the main #1 talk show on UFOs and the whole ET thing. And I've been in radio on NPR for 21 years covering this. I've had sightings. We have a C5 group in New England. We've seen the spaceships. We videotape stuff. We use night vision. I know a lot about the subject. And so it's good to have you on here because I know you're interested in the subject. You're gathering information. And I think these people want to learn who are giving you the videotapes, they're wondering what they're seeing, right? They're trying to figure out what it is on some of these videos. Are most of these people pretty aware of what they're seeing, or do they try to figure it out, or what are they telling you?
They're really like just mind blown. They don't know what they're looking at. So usually like when they send them to me, they're like, can you tell me any more about this? And actually told a guy the other day, he called me on the phone and he was asking about it. He was like, what could this be? I was like, I don't know, but I just got into contact with a guy that does a TikTok live show, and he would definitely know more about it than I would. So I don't know if he ever did like contact you or anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I definitely would encourage these people to come on the show. Now, it's going to be impossible for them to show the video, well, unless they have another iPad or something with their recording. They could show it on here, and we definitely encourage people with their own footage to come on here and show it. We've had people show footage live, having sightings in different states, and we're watching it on my show here, doing C5s and the ships. You can see these lights going crazy. So people are recording these things, and if any of these people want to come on here on 11 o'clock at night, I do a nightly show here, and we're happy to have them as guests to share their stories. So you can forward these people to a place, to someone here like me. I would definitely have you back, because you are connected with these people and they have a confidence in you and they have a relationship with you, which I think is important. And I acknowledge and credit you for the work you're doing. So it's a beautiful thing. And if you want yourself want to have sightings, the way to do it, have you heard of the C5 app from Dr. Stephen Greer?
I have not.
You know what that is?
I've heard of
it's a good right. He has an app. You can download it for $10, the iPhone or Apple. Download the app, and it's a one-time thing. You'll get the app. It has protocol of contact, and I know you'll pick it up pretty quickly. You just read the protocol, follow the different things. There are tones on it that are used. Maybe you have a few people that you trust that are not like nervous or anything. Get together with them, practice using the app, and if you do the app, try it a few times, you will actually make contact with spiritual beings on spaceships known as UFOs, and they'll come close enough, you'll actually interact with them. And that's the way to do it.
I've heard that meditation, there's like a way to do it through meditation too. Have you?
Yeah, the meditation, and also the app, with combination of both. So we use the app and we do the meditation first, then we use the app and turn on the tones when we go out in the field with about 12 or 13 people, and things do happen. So I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah.
Really. Definitely.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so definitely you're welcome back. As you have more information, we'll have you as our source for what's happening out there. Obviously, you're having contact with these people, and I'm happy to have them on the show. If they have enough followers, they can come on and talk about their sightings too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll definitely forward some people to you.
All right, sounds good. And give me your first name again.
Malachi.
Malachi. Nice meeting you, brother.
Nice meeting you.
It's really good. I've been following you and the videos. And that's why I was so happy to contact you. I always look for people that are real, and you're one of those people. So I thank you, Malachi, for being here.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to.
All right, brother. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Yep. I'll be looking for him. All right, take care.
Yep, no problem.
All right, Malachi was our guest, folks, and he has been getting video footage from people in Indiana that are recording UFOs. I call them spaceships. I've watched the videos. They're actually, and then we had April on with me last night, and the Ashtar Command said they are Ashtar Command ships, and that is now, in the next 3-week period, there are going to be sightings in places that we don't know where they're going to pop up, but we know that there are going to be Ashtar Command ships that are going to pop up, go out, and pop back in again. So in the next 3 weeks, have your phones charged up, wherever state you're in, whatever country you're in. It's not a given as to where they're going to show up. We have no idea. It'll be spontaneous, but you're going to want to make sure you record any of the craft that you see that are not terrestrial, and that's really important. And thank you for the gift. So it's really important to do that. Freedom Junkie, thank you, Freedom. Thank you. Freedom Junkie says, I've got to start staying up to see a ship. And if most people do, and you do the right thing, go into a remote area where there's not a lot of, did you hear about the East Coast? I sent videos to your TikTok. Ashley, I'm going to take a look at those. I think my phone was acting weird a little bit. Ashley, come on up for a minute, and let's talk about that. And Lynn, thank you for the lightning bolts. I appreciate it. It's 11:06. So I got on a little bit early tonight. Big Red Dog, thank you for the confetti. JV Man, thank you for the lightning bolts. We appreciate it. Let's see, Ashley, if you can come up, we'll bring you up here. Where's Ashley? I don't know why I can't invite you. Lori, Gab, thank you. Where's Ashley? Here she is. And we'll, I haven't seen the videos yet. I'm gonna have to look at them. My TikTok is working good now, but my internet was kind of weird. So Ashley is a regular. And Ashley, good evening.
Hi.
How you doing?
It's because I'm good. How are you?
Good. So tell the audience about the East Coast thing, and I will definitely try to find. I know you sent me something earlier, but my internet was not working well, so now it's back to normal. Are you there? Hello? Okie dokie, what's happening now? Ashley, can you hear me? You're watching Encounters, where strange things do happen. I hope it's not going to get strange.
Okay.
Are we good? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's because I had my Wi-Fi on and I walked outside because everybody's sleeping.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So I don't know what is going on. No, I guess nobody knows what's going on, but
Are you talking about the East Coast thing that happened at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah. So I guess it was seen in Raleigh, North Carolina, and something in DC crashed, but people said that they seen this huge aircraft, like bigger than a normal one, like huge, and it came out of the sky and crashed into the ground, and then the police had areas blocked off. They sent out alerts, and usually the alerts will say like there's been an armed robbery, don't go to this area. But in this alert, it said blah, 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 blank to what it was. It just had a blank line, and then because of blank. And I sent you some videos, but nobody knows. They just seen, people saw something falling from the sky, and I don't know. I just seen it a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to find stuff.
No one has any. So I have heard it was like a big airplane or something. And it's possible it was some sort of a big commercial air jet or something. But I'm curious, Ken, I was hoping that somebody who's in aviation come on here and educate us. Can you see a big airliner crash in multiple states from North Carolina to DC and Pennsylvania or whatever? Is that possible, or am I just like, I don't know.
Right, and the media is not covering it.
Yeah, you would think they would. If it were a plane crash, wouldn't the national media cover it? If it was even if it was a little airplane, the media covers it. Even if it was like an airline jet, United Airlines crashed outside of DC, there would be all over the news.
Yep.
Now,
and
yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I had it just a second ago.
Or we're talking about it possibly being an airplane or commercial air jet. And you're saying...
yeah. One of the guys said that he seen immediately, like within like 4 or 5 minutes, unmarked vehicles pulling up around the area and blocking things off.
Pulling up in what area?
Where he's seen the thing crash. Like he has a video of where the I guess like the smoke trail was coming down.
Really? And
it looked like he was pretty close because it looked like it was right there.
Really? And he got video? Was this person on TikTok?
Yeah, I sent you the videos.
Really? I'm gonna have to look at it. So he was real close to where the crash happened. There were unmarked cars going towards the site.
Yeah. Yep. And they had blocked off.
Can you bring your camera on? Are you able to go on camera or no?
No.
Okay,
no.
that's all right.
I'm not very decent looking right now.
Oh no, we don't want to do that to you. I'll leave it. Ashley won't do this yet. So as you know, so this guy was close to where it crashed. He gets video footage. Did he get video footage of the unmarked cars that were going there? These cars or whatever?
I didn't see it in the video.
Okay.
He just said it.
Yeah, he said he was seeing unmarked cars. He was close to the crash site, and nothing's on the news. So isn't that, I want to believe it was a conventional jet, but why would unmarked cars go to a crash site of a conventional air jet?
Yes, I know. And he said it was way bigger than a commercial jet.
Really?
But it said it looked, but I think he said it looked like an airliner. But
Yeah,
I've also heard that in a couple other videos that they crafts can disguise themselves as an airliner.
So it could have camouflaged itself to look like an airliner, but it could have been something different.
Right. And so everybody heard loud booms too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out, but
someone know. Dave says, I seen a video of a guy who saw the sparks across the sky. Then he saw the largest aircraft ever seen. So.
Oh, yeah. Something was chasing. I heard somebody said something was chasing like behind it too.
Really?
As it was going down. Yep.
So something was chasing it. Now here's where the commander is going to get kind of speculative here. And I'm not saying what it is. I have no idea. But if something was chasing it, now this is where I can get myself into speculation. Is it possible that the U.S. government shot down a spaceship? I'm not saying it's a spaceship. Again, I'm being hypothetical here. Don't go over the world and say, oh, the commander said it was a spaceship. I'm not saying that. But you just said there was a video. The guy said he had a video showing there was something behind it chasing it. There's something behind it. Could it possibly have shot down this large thing?
I've already thought that. I've already thought that.
Right. So, and we're all trying to come to an answer. And, if you're absolutely certain there was a spaceship, just because you feel absolutely certain doesn't mean I do. Being a newscaster and being trained in news, I have to ask questions. I want to know the truth too. Now, if there was something behind it, like a F-15 fighter jet, or the Air Force knew that there was a spaceship coming in camouflaged as a big jet, what kind of jet is that is bigger than a regular jet? So the person that videotaped this thing coming down said it was bigger. Did it say it was bigger? Was they videotaped bigger than a commercial airline jet?
Yeah, like huge. They said they'd never seen any commercial airliner that big before. And my friend on here, he's a big creator, War Deadpool. He has this thing that he has where he can track all the flights. So he's going back now and seeing if he can track flights and the levels that they were at, the elevation they were at, the time. He's trying to track it all down right now.
Oh, Deadpool, he's good at that. He really is a professional at that. If he finds that there was no commercial airline traffic when this thing crashed at 3 a.m. in the morning, then we'll know at least that it wasn't a commercial conventional airline jet. And the thing that really, gets me interested is that the video this person showed said that the craft or whatever it was way bigger than a regular airline jet. We know how big an airline jet is that carries people on it. So if this thing was double the size or triple the size, I don't know, but still bigger than our conventional airline jet. And then someone says, well, there was something following it. So the thing that was following it, was this thing going down when the thing was following it? Did you see that? Or is there any information on that?
I don't know. I didn't see the video. He didn't have a video. He just said what he saw.
Oh, he just was talking about what he saw. He didn't have the video. Yep. Okay.
I didn't see any videos of it going down. I just seen tons of videos of the smoke trail from it.
I've seen the smoke trail. And it was a pretty big smoke trail.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was seen in multiple states. That's the thing that really gets me questioning things. You know, like I said, we know if a jet crashes, you know, at Bradley International Airport in Connecticut or LaGuardia, is it going to be seen coming down in like 10 different states? I don't think so. You know, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
and
know,
how many states could hear that boom?
yeah, so there were people saying in other states they heard the boom too.
Yeah.
Now, how would you hear the boom in other states if it was a conventional jet? Would you hear the boom in 4 or 5 other states surrounding Washington, D.C. or Virginia? I don't know the answer to that. Is it possible?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but
Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody saying that from any other airline crash.
Yeah. You know, it's just really, it's MS is saying the news and the government are being a little too quiet about all these things, making it pretty suspicious. Yeah, it is pretty suspicious. You know, I want to believe, you know, my common sense person wants to believe it's a big jet that crashed. But then when you have what you just mentioned, that this person stated there was an object behind the object, the large object, I'm almost leaning towards it was an object of the Air Force that shot at this big object and shot it down. And Skip to Grace, I'm going to bring her up because she, and I'm not sure what it is, but you know, we're getting all these different reports, and Grace has somebody in her family that's an aviation person, and you know, I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm not on the bandwagon with spaceships yet, because I'm trying to get some truth to find out whether we're being lied to, or it's a cover-up, or you know what it is. I think it's good to have this discussion, and there's just too many people out there on YouTube, especially on TikTok, that have no idea. One guy was walking in Washington past a bunch of police officers all talking to each other, but he has no information. He's walking around and says, oh, what are all these people doing here? And they all looked like they were just hanging out, like about 50 or 60 police officers in Washington, D.C. They could have been standing around for a whole nother reason. So, you know, it's definitely...
and with if it's just a plane crash or even a small craft crash, why no news coverage? And why did some guy was driving home from the gym around 3:30, and he got on to see if anybody had heard it or seen anything, and within 4 minutes he had found another video where somebody posted the same thing.
Yeah, Jan says she saw a huge airliner basically floating, coming down way too slow. Jan, did you see that on a video that somebody posted? And evidently, if I understand, this event happened at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they say Washington, D.C., so we don't know. Now, Washington, D.C. is a city. If something this big crashed in Washington, wouldn't it have hit maybe some homes or a building or something? So was it in Washington, D.C., or there's people in North Carolina saying they saw this thing in some other states? So what's going on here? And I'm just trying to find out, you know, what the truth is. Oh, okay. Grace says the plane got lost and the Air Force went HAM. What's HAM? The plane got lost and the Air Force went something. I'm not sure, Grace, what that other word is. She's typing as she's walking her dog. Oh, went ham? Okay. What does ham mean? Oh, ham radio. Ham radio, okay. It was by the White House. So this thing crashed by the White House? The plane? Or the jet or whatever it was. The only thing I wonder is, why isn't the news media covering it? Why isn't there like ABC News out there doing a report? Oh, ballistic, okay. Oh, ballistic, thank you. I don't know what those words mean. I got you, ballistic. So the other thing is, the Air Force went to it really hard. So the Air Force shot this thing down, this plane. It was heading towards the White House. Oh, I got you. Now I get it. So I appreciate that. So this particular plane or jet or whatever it was heading towards the White House, and the Air Force shot it down. Okay, or near the White House. So maybe tomorrow on the morning news we might hear something. Maybe. All right. We'll find out tomorrow if it's on the national news in the United States or whatever. So yeah, so but it happened last night at 3 a.m. They could be waiting to get permission to talk about it. I don't know. But I'm still concerned at the fact there's no news. You'll hear it crashed. Oh, interesting. So, Grace, hopefully it'll be on the news. But if they don't have it on the news, then there's going to be a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be it on the news. If it's not on the news, people have to question our news media in general, because we should have that stuff on the news so that people know. Like when an airliner crashed, when airliners crash, they have news on. I've seen, airliner, USA airline crashed into the harbor or something. They show it. So this thing should hopefully be on the news. Media is a joke. Media, little Leah, you're right. Media is a joke. If we hear nothing on the news, then I am questioning.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. You still would think that it would be on the news, and for everybody to be describing that it was so big, if you don't hear it on the news, or they just don't stage the event that it was a small craft, and everybody posting at the time that they saw it that it was so huge, that's kind of sus.
Yeah, I want to be the news person that I am in my background studying media with Pacifica and say, okay, maybe it is a plane. But if it is a plane, show it on the news. If you don't show on the news, I'm going to question whether it's a plane. That's the only reason I question it. Like one of the things people know about me, unless I can see that video of it where it crashed, I don't know what it is. But if it is a plane hijacked or whatever, it was reported on a Virginia news. Okay, so Virginia news. Okay, well, maybe it'll make the national news. So it was reported on a Virginia news station that it was a plane heading towards the White House. Okay. Do we know what station that was? Because I'll call them up. Does anybody know in Virginia what news station that was? I'll give them a call tomorrow if we can find that out. I'm just trying to find out what happened. They report every plane crash on the news, and even in other countries. True. 1%, if it's a plane, people will have lost loved ones. So I'd like to know what Virginia station did that so I can give them a phone call and get some information. Do you know what the Virginia station is? Can we find out? I'll give them a phone call. We'll get to the bottom of this. And then the really interesting thing is a Virginia news station, and this is where my news background comes in. Who told them it was what it was? How did that one Virginia news station, out of all the major media, this one station in Virginia knows what it is? How does that happen? How does one station know more than everybody else? You'd think CNN, NBC, I don't care, Fox, whatever it is, these big guns out there with the news, you think they would get the report, not just a little, not a station just in Virginia. So what station in Virginia is it? I'd like to call them up. I want to get to the bottom of this. The commander wants to get to the bottom of this, so we all know, and not have we just don't know. If I hear this, and doesn't mean, if someone tells me that a plane crashed on a Virginia news station near the White House, do we know what they're reporting is accurate? Do we know what they're reporting is true? Or are they lying to us? Or they be giving a sheet to read by the government? Just say this,
Just like when they brought down the weather balloon in Alaska, there was immediate coverage. There's no coverage on this, and I think that it's just too weird. I think that they're gonna make up a cover story for it.
And they probably, if the major media covers this, if they're allowed to, and I use the word allowed to, because you know that our national media is controlled by the government. They are told what they can tell us, and they're told what they shouldn't tell us. It's just the way it is. You know, you have very few. Go ahead.
When there's always flights that are down flights, there's always news helicopters flying over and on TV, and there's just nothing on this except for citizens reporting this.
And I think Miller Power says it's on YouTube. What are they saying on YouTube? I've not been on there to look at this. I'm sure there's stuff on YouTube. What are they saying on YouTube? I have YouTube, so what's being said there? You know, I'm sure there are people on YouTube covering this, and I'm wondering what they're saying. What are YouTubers saying? YouTubers are just like TikTokers. They have their own thing. Let's see. And this is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I'm just trying to get to the truth. Yeah, so the people on YouTube are saying they don't think it was a pilot, as a pilot fell asleep and crashed. A pilot fell asleep and he crashed. Okay. So the pilot fell asleep and he crashed. And people saw that crash in multiple states. Is that possible to see airplane crash and see it in multiple states? Okay, and then they said at Langley Air Force Base, said drone air. Pilot died. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Two F-16 followed the plane. All right. They had to scramble F-16 breaking the sound barrier. Then, so I'm reading comments here. Then why was there no news on it? I have some pizza, Ashley. First, it was the Northern Lights. It was an airplane. It would have made news. Families would have lost loved ones. No way you could see it in multiple states. Weather balloon on fire, unmanned aircrafted. How is it in multiple states? Drones. Someone says drones. So here's the deal. There's so many conflicting stories. The question is, if a person fell asleep in an airplane, how could this thing be seen in multiple states? Can somebody enlighten me how that's possible? I mean, I'm not an airline pilot. I'm not a navigation expert. I don't know anything about that. How is it possible that it's being seen in multiple states of a crash? I don't understand that. You know, I don't think it's possible. You know, if I want to be the one to go along with things, I can say, oh yeah, it probably was a plane. The F-15 fighter jets had to shoot it down or whatever. The person fell asleep. They didn't want to take any chances, so they shot the plane down. Does that make any logical sense? And again, I don't know. And I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm just trying to find out the truth. And if you're going by the media telling you the truth, don't. If you're going by a report from any media, I don't care if it's in the state of Oshkosh, they're reading a script from somebody that gave them a script to read. And then, you know, they're reading a script. So they're saying it's this or saying this, that. So the folks that are hearing news reports that it was this or there's that, do you believe the news reports you're hearing? I appreciate you telling me what you heard. Do you believe those news reports from the established media? Does anybody believe those reports? And again, I'm not saying what it is. I'm just questioning whether you believe those reports as they give them. Jordan, thank you for the pumpkin. I appreciate it. You know, I'd love if we had some honest national news that actually told us what it was. But you know these people read scripts. If you're hearing it on a radio station, they're reading a script. If you're hearing it on a TV station, they're reading what has been given to them on a script. So the anchor on that news station, wherever it is reading a script. That's what they're doing. They're not necessarily telling you the truth. Just, if I blatantly just sat there and say, oh, ABC News Good Morning America said this thing happened last night, and it was somebody who fell asleep and crashed their little Cessna airplane outside of Washington. You know that everything is scripted. That's right. Everything on the news media is scripted. Our news media doesn't tell us half of the things that are going on in the world. How in the hell are we going to know that they're going to tell us the truth about what happened at 3 a.m. in the morning with something that crashed outside of Washington? And who's the one that saw the plane crash? Where's the public person or people in that area that lived there that were seeing this crashed plane? And someone said the person that videotaped it, that was really close to it, said there were unmarked cars going to the scene. That's all we know. We don't know. We don't see anything. We don't know anything. We have to believe it's a plane because somebody on the news somewhere says, oh, they read a report that's the plane. How do we know? We didn't see it. I'm not saying it's not a plane. It could be very well a plane. It could be like some secret jet or something that the Air Force has or whatever. Who knows? But nobody really knows. It crashed in the mountains. It did. Let me just bring this person up here. Hold on a minute. David, come on up. Dave, press the guest request button. I want to bring you up here. You seem to have gotten some information. It crashed in the mountains outside of D.C. So he's hearing it crashed in the mountains. I have a feeling the story of a plane is a cover-up. I can't find anything on YouTube about that night. So Dave's checked YouTube. He can't find anything on there. Excuse me. Hey, Kit Kat, good to see you. I'm right now interested in people coming forward. If you lived in that area where this thing crashed, if anybody out there lives in the area where this thing came down, I'd like to get your side of the story. I really would tonight on Encounters. You're watching the #1 UFO talk show on social media. Unlike all the hundreds of pre-recorded videos with speculation on YouTube, on TikTok, my background is subject. So I'd like to hear from somebody in that area where it came down. If you have TikTok, we'd love to hear what you have to say. I'd like to get more information. I've not made a conclusion as to what it is, but I do want more information.
I'm gonna hop down and I'm gonna hop down. I'm gonna hop down and I'm gonna find that guy that posted.
See if we can get that guy to post it and see if we can get him up here.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. Ashley's going to search for the guy, and maybe we can have him as a guest on the show that lived nearby who actually saw the thing crash, saw unmarked cars going towards wherever it crashed, and she's going to try to find him. And she will. She's one of my moderators. Why were there so many police all around the Capitol if it crashed in the mountains? The police at the Capitol and the guy who video recorded them and walked by them, I just think he was there to, create some hoopla. I don't think he knows anything either, and he doesn't. He's just somebody on TikTok that recorded a video with the police there and said, look at all these police here. Now, if there was a crash near the White House or the Capitol, these police officers would not have had him walking by nonchalantly and saying, hi, how you doing this evening? Right? Come on now. Are you kidding me? They would have had the whole area blocked off. This guy just walks nonchalantly past the police and keeps talking about what's going on, and he has no idea what's happening, and he didn't see anything. He just made a TikTok video, and he wanted to make this look like it was connected, when in fact, he has no idea, I mean, even I can do that. But I won't. Hey, baby, Brooklyn, cover up everything. Yeah, E.T., I believe you. No cover up, no video of the crash. And there is no video. Maurice Johnson, let's see, they had a marathon today in the Capitol. So they had a marathon today in the Capitol. That's why those police officers were all kind of hanging out. Also, no fly zone, ha ha ha. Yes, Nicole. And in North Carolina, near Raleigh. So, E.T., people in North Carolina near Raleigh were seeing this thing in the air, like a trail going from like an angle vertically, correct? Yeah, I know. There's all kinds of stories, but again, I understand all that too. I mean, I think people are speculating, and that's fine. People can speculate. I'm good with that. But nobody really knows what happened. We're going to try to get the guy. Ashley's trying to find the guy who was near the crash site, who had TikTok, and see if we can get him on the air here. They have said West Virginia, a small plane in the mountains, and that's from Virginia media, correct? Mike, can you tell us where you heard that from? Mike, can you tell us where you heard about the small plane in Virginia in the mountains? Because it left a pretty big trail for a small plane, and multiple states were seeing this trail, and I'm wondering how a small plane creates a trail that big. Can you tell us where you heard that report? It was seen by multiple states, and it was shot down. It could have been a large ship, no coverage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the Ashtar Command, my space people, about this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact my father on the ship and ask them about this crash, and I'm going to get some information from them as to what just happened at 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't some sort of a plane or top secret reverse engineered craft that we have, because it could be that too, right? It could be. Or it could be this little plane that crashed in West Virginia in the mountains. Really. And in multiple states, people see a small plane crash in the mountains of West Virginia. Now, I'm not that educated in aviation. I know nothing. When it comes to UFOs, spaceships, yes. But I know nothing. 8 hours before, question mark, at 3 a.m., the president is out golfing with his brother. Amanda says, I guarantee they've got the guy already. Seven Starlight says, 3 a.m. in the morning, there were some guy in a TikTok said it was huge. So if it was a small plane that the news media says crashed in the mountains of West Virginia, how could a small plane be huge? The opposite of small is huge. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to know that. So the people that were seeing this said it was huge. So is a small airplane huge? No, it's a small airplane. So what is the truth? What's going on here? Has pic of a trail. I saw the picture of the trail. The trail was pretty big. It was huge. The trail itself going down, it was like slanted, going down in somewhere, We are experiencing close comets also. True, too. But from what people were saying, this thing wasn't a comet. And a trip X93, hey, bro, you're going to be going into outer space. Bye-bye, bro. TripTix 93 is no longer on the live. He's also blocked from watching the show. You see, one of these people, these kind of people that come in here negatively, the commander has control of the show. And as host, I can throw him right out, and I just did. Bye-bye. Hello, I think it's a spaceship, Odell. It might be. Maybe April got word of it. Yeah, I'll have to find out if April got any word of it. I'm going to actually... I don't know. She might be on now. I don't know. I'm just sending her a message right now. And I'm going to try to have the command answer that question. I'm sending her a message about it. I just sent April a message about it. I might not get the answer right away, but I sent her a message to ask our space people on the ship about that. Yeah, I don't think it can be a small plane. That's the thing that makes me say there's no way in multiple states people saw a small plane in multiple states. A small plane crashed down in the mountains of West Virginia. That's just impossible. I can't. I don't have Alexa looked up here. It could have been a new plane, first of its kind, and it could have been, but people said the thing was huge. The conflicting report is there are people that witnessed this thing coming down saying it was really big. So if it was a small plane that crashed in West Virginia mountains, then I don't understand it. Anything I find about a crash in D.C. is 7 months to a year ago. And you check YouTube. Hey, thanks, Days. It had 4 trails to it, Wendora says. Okay, she was with them last night and didn't hear anything. All right, so we'll leave that out of it then. Sean Lee Anthony, the news is going to tell us. I think it may be 2 different incidents. It could be that there were 2 different things happening. Cassie says, I smell cover-up. Think we'll get some coverage by the media. I don't believe we will. I think it's amazing. 28. Peggy says, I flew Cessnas and Pipers. They're not huge. Thank you, Peggy. Langley Air Force Base, drones shot down Washington, D.C. How do we know that they were drones, and how do we know that Langley Air Force Base shot them down? Is there a report there, Jetty, regarding that? I'm reading your comments. Monica, let's see. Syndra 58, I'm in Virginia and hadn't heard about the crash. So we have a person in Virginia that has heard nothing about the crash. Nini 369, take care, Nini. Blessings to you. They took my other comments down. MW, she's on. Okay. Yes, she did. Okay, I think someone asked my sister April about the thing. I think Ashtar Command said they knew nothing about the crash. Am I correct? Can you ask Ashtar yourself, Commander? I can, but I'm not getting any information. I'm actually trying to do this in a different way, in my talk show host mode. Let's see. I think we'll get some actual media coverage soon. We might, as long as they find a way to kind of cover it up. I was talking to April yesterday. Linda says, April was with Astro Command last night, and they didn't tell her anything about it, she said. So we have to go with that. I guess if they didn't say anything, it probably wasn't anything related to the command. Todd says, no in the Virginia map. Wonder if it is an asteroid. I don't think so. A good question though. 869. Not in West Virginia, in the state of Virginia. Okay, Todd Boone says it wasn't West Virginia, but in the mountains of Virginia. Thank you, Todd. Nini says, I've just been checking news and I don't see anything. Yeah, no one's seeing anything in the news yet on U.S. news or anything. Whirlpool, he's on and he's trying to figure out if there was any air traffic conventional at 3 a.m. in the morning over those areas. Okay, so it crashed in the state of Virginia. Todd, do you have any more information about that? It crashed in Virginia, not West Virginia. Thank you. Eddie's saying he saw it from Chicago, Illinois. Now, wait a minute. Okay. You're in Chicago, Illinois, Eddie. You say you saw, what did you see in Chicago, Illinois? See, now we're getting reports that people saw this thing coming down from other states. And Illinois is way far away from Virginia. And if it was a small aircraft or a Cessna, there's no way someone in Illinois is going to see it. I know I have my own way of asking, but I'm not getting information. They're not giving me information. There's nothing coming through. And I'm also very sensitive myself. I already have the ability to sense things. And my inner feelings, my inner guidance for myself is that I think we have, regardless of what it is, I think it's being covered up. I don't think anything's going to be stated about it. I think it's being covered up. I wanted to wait. I wanted to give it enough time for me to look at all these different comments on on TikTok, and analyze all these people's comments. And half of them don't even know what they're talking about. They're just jumping on the bandwagon because, just like with everything else, they jump on when there's something like this happening and they want to get some notoriety and they're doing their thing. Me, I want to get to the truth. Let's see. Just watched your video. You should go up and tell Commander to look. Cassie 21101. When I get off my live, I'll be looking at some video. And I have been looking at all the different TikTok videos, just seeing where people are at, what people are saying. So my show, I can kind of talk about it a little bit more. I caught a lot of UFOs tonight on video. Check them out. I see recorded more than. So we're going to, Chad Hall. We're going to follow you, Chad. Chad, if you'd like to come up as a guest, we're going to get some guest interviews tonight here. We'd love to have you on here. You've been documenting UFOs tonight, and we'd like to hear about them. You have to be over 18. No foul language, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, religion, or politics, and no kids on the show. So, Chad, if you want to come up, we'll bring you up in a few minutes. And I am now following you. And you'll be our first guest, or let's see here, maybe. It could have been a low viber ship, but the command stated nothing. Hey, Shell, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to bring him up, and we're going to do an interview here. I shared 13 videos of UFOs. Okay, so we're going to bring Chad up here. And Chad, we welcome you to join us here on Encounters. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. I'm the host of NPR Pacifica Radio's Cosmic Eye Radio every Sunday morning, which is live on TikTok. And, of course, my show here, which is very big, on at night around 11 o'clock. So, Chad, if you'll come up here, we'd love to hear your story. You sure it wasn't a comment? Yeah, Todd, I'm actually certain of that. So we're trying to bring Eddie up. Hey, Eddie, good to see you. The Shepherd of the King. Check out the Shepherd of the King. Hey, Wandora, thank you. Sindra says, I look it up and 2 people of small plane crash. Where are you looking that up, Sindra? Is that a news story? They say 2 people were in a plane crash. And I'm questioning whether there's probably 2 different events. The person in Illinois says that they saw something, and they're not even in Virginia. So let's see what we've got here. Chad coming up in a minute. Hopefully. Oh, here we go. TikTok just is working. Chad, welcome to Encounters. I'm your host, CmdrAleon, #1 spiritual UFO talk show. Tell us tonight when this all happened. You said you've been recording a lot of stuff, and I'm very interested in your story.
Yeah, I've seen so many lights looking northwest out of Kirby, Ohio. I've been recording these lights for some time now. It's kind of odd.
And when you say you've been recording these lights for some time now, how long have you been actually documenting these recordings?
Since February.
February, that's a long time. So all this started for you before February. Were you someone that was interested in ufology or in the subject, or did you get interested after it happened?
Hmm. 20 years ago, me and some friends seen some shit. Uh, movies can't even describe it.
Mm-hmm. So 20 years ago is when you first started seeing things in your area where you live, right? Correct?
Yes.
And what you're seeing now, do you feel, yeah, Spirit, thank you. What you're seeing now, do you think that outdoes what you were seeing a long time ago? Is it more apparent? Is it more visible? For our audience, can you explain that a little bit?
Well, 20 years ago, there was a triangular large ship, silent, shined its lights on us, left silently. There was probably 5 or 6 of us there. They all freaked out.
So when you said they freaked out, this craft, do you think it was our reverse engineer technology? Like, we do have reverse engineer technology. How low is this triangular craft?
It was massive.
It was massive. How did you feel? They were freaking out. Did you freak out as well?
Oh yeah,
You
my
did.
jaw hurt.
Mm.
My
And what do you
mouth was
guys?
open so
What did
wide.
what did you and your friends do? What year was that? Can you tell us?
Let's say 2002, 2003.
Okay. And we do have reverse engineered technology from crashed UFOs. Did you
Yeah,
think,
but I don't
looking
think
back
they
at
got
it,
even that big.
you think this was not ours?
I don't think so.
You think it was extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with that. So when you had that happen, did you have anything like really feel weird afterwards, like you're being watched by whatever was flying that particular object?
Well, I remember it was like 2:30 in the morning. After it left, I started walking home. The sun was about to rise. It was during a meteor shower. And when I looked to the east, northeast, there was meteors everywhere. It was crazy.
So do you
It was
feel
like
that you had
nonstop.
nonstop meteors? That's pretty crazy. That was after you had the sighting, correct?
Yes,
Uh-huh. Did you have any missing time during that period?
sure did.
I knew you did. I knew you did. And your friends probably did too. So tell me, what time was the sighting? And at that point, what time did you have the missing time?
It was at least from 2:30 to 6:30.
Okay, and when was the sighting?
Around 2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m. And your missing time happened from 2:30 to 6:30 a.m. in the morning. That's a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you believe that those were meteors you were seeing or something else?
I'm pretty sure there's meteors because
They were meteors, okay. So
There's
you
a
can tell the
lot.
difference between that and this huge triangular spaceship, correct?
yeah, because it was only probably a few hundred feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm. So when you had the missing time, after you had the missing time, were you ever curious to find somebody who's like an authority in terms of hypnotizing you to find out what happened to you?
I've never done that.
Never done that. Have you ever felt like doing it?
I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. Hey, look, I'm with you, brother. It's not something you do every day. When
I'm
you
not
had
sure
the
if I
missing
want to
time?
relive that.
No, I understand that. It must have been a really scary experience too. So let me tell you something, or ask you something. Do you feel that you've been implanted when you had the missing time? My feeling is you were taken on board their ship, and they did something. Do you feel something happened to you?
Possibly. I got 2 scars
Mm.
on each leg. I got 2
Yes.
spots behind my ears.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor recently and they found a small pinhole in my eardrum. So I
Really?
really don't know.
Well, I know you're new to the show, and I appreciate that. I have actually helped people on my show. This is not your typical nuts and bolts UFO show. I do a lot more than just talk about sightings. I've had people that have had positive contact, and people like yourself that freaked out and had something with missing time. So I kind of feel that you have some implants that were put into you when you had missing time. You were taken on that big triangular ship, and they did something to you.
That's very possible.
I mean, did the doctors find anything? Did they scan you for any implants or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
I've
they
had
probably wouldn't.
X-rays and
Yeah,
MRI scans and all that.
yeah, yeah.
I've had a lot of. I've had cellulitis a lot of my leg.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not sure why.
But before you had the missing time, you didn't have those scars on your body, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The reason why you had the scars on your body, and folks, you need to understand this, what I'm saying, is that I think you do have implants that the doctors with their scanning devices couldn't pick up the implants. I think you have invisible implants in your body right now.
It's very possible, man. I don't know.
Has your health changed after the scars happened? Did you feel any different in your health? You're being healthy or not healthy, or did things get worse in some ways in terms of, the way you felt before it happened?
Seems like my health's a little different than when I was younger. Yes.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to figure this out for you, whether they did something to you that changed. Obviously they didn't want you to remember that you were abducted, which is what you were for missing time. That's an abduction. I'm wondering. I'm pretty sure you probably have about 3 or 4 implants in your body right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, you got 3 or 4 implants. I actually know you have 3 or 4 implants in your body right now from the experience of that triangular ship that you said wasn't one of ours. You felt that. Did they remove an implant?
I remember watching it. I remember watching it leave. There was like a large radio tower at this one building, and I remember watching it going over top of it, and it seemed like it was not very high off the ground.
Really? Wow. Yeah. And I'm going by your story. Is I'm not trying to change your story. So
I'm shaking right now just talking about it.
I know you are. So I'm very interested, and at some point I'm interested in bringing you back to, and even I do believe you were implanted.
I see strange lights all the freaking time, man. I don't know
and
why.
What do you feel about these UFOs you're recording now that you did just recently? Do you feel anything like energy? If you've seen stuff, you must have the ability to have, like, you'll feel either good about it or not good. How did you feel about the new sightings you're recording?
It's kind of eerie.
Kind of eerie.
Yes. I never really noticed these lights until probably recently. I mean, I've seen stuff in the skies, but not like these.
Yeah. So were these ships different than the triangular ship overhead?
Yes.
And what color were they? Can you tell our audience what the color of the ships were?
Well, they look like stars, but they
look like stars.
They'll start out dim, and then they'll get real bright, and then they'll kind of just dim out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've caught 4 of them at the same time light up.
And are you the only one recording? Is there anyone around you when you're recording these things?
No.
No.
Usually by myself.
Well, that makes perfectly good sense. So, I don't think these are the same space beings as the ones that abducted you. I think these are different, but they're totally different. Yeah. So, and they're not doing anything to you. They're letting you see their ships. You're recording them. Whereas the other thing with that triangular craft that was really big overhead, you had a couple hours of missing time. When you came back, you had marks on your body, and that's because they were probably putting implants in your body.
I would like to know.
So
maybe get them out. I don't know if they can get the ones on the head out.
So how would you, again, I'm going to ask my audience. We have 358 people here. If I can help you remove the implants remotely, would you let me do it?
How do you do that?
Remotely with the palm of my hands.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I can do that. How many people here would be willing to stay here? There's 357 people here. If you want to see the real deal, I don't do this all the time. I listen to a person's story, and I can take the implants out. And you'll never see anybody on YouTube or TikTok that can do this. They might be dangling, what do you call those things? Whatever it is. I don't have crystal balls or anything. I don't have neon lights behind me. And what I do here, is real. And people have seen me do. I have people here who have seen it, and I can do it. All 159 of you, I can actually do this, and it's free. I don't use any pendulums or anything. I use the palm of my hands. My wife was asking me. I told her what happened the other night. I helped somebody, and I said I show people the palm of my hands. I don't have any technology. I use the palm of my hands when I do this, and it won't hurt you either. So I can take those implants out.
Okay.
And on this UFO show, we do a lot of things. So if you give me permission, I will take all 4 of those implants out of your body.
Let's do it.
And what state are you in? And what state are you in? You're in
Ohio.
You're in Ohio. He's in Ohio. Just so you be geography. I'm in Connecticut. He's in Ohio. I'm going to use the palm of my hands here. I'm going to take all the implants out and destroy them on this show. You won't see the implants, but understand me. You have to trust me that what I'm doing is real, and I will destroy the implants. And this is the only UFO show in the world where you're going to see this. So we will start right now. I want you to close your eyes, even though I can't see you. If you'll close your eyes, please. Let me see here. And what we're going to do, let's see, can he? Yeah. What we're going to do is have you close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out of your nostril about 3 or 4 times, please. 3 or 4 times, please. And when you feel relaxed, let me know. And what everyone here, all 381 of you, are going to see is the palm of my hands, and I'm going to remotely remove the implants that were implanted in him by the negative ETs that he had missing time with a number of years ago. You're all going to see this, every one of you. And like I said, nobody on TikTok can do this. Only I can. Let's do this here. And please tap on the screen on the top right corner on my profile. It says 45.9. I need everybody to tap on the screen. We have almost 400 people here, which is normal for my show. If you all tap on the screen, we can get up to 100,000 likes tonight too. And that's all I ask in return is that you like. And by tapping it, that shows me your dedication to the show. We appreciate that. How do you feel, Chad? Are you relaxed?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to start working on you. This is the palm of my hands here. I'm not using any technology. I was gifted by my father on the spaceship. I'm a space being as well as a human being. I'm with the Ashtar Command, and I am telepathically communicating with my father on the ship. So we're going to do this now. It's going to be heat energy. In a minute, he's going to feel it. I'm above his head right now. You can't see anything I'm doing, but I am doing it, and this is the palm of my hand here. So I'm going to do some energy work right now. I'm going to shoot some beams of energy. In a minute or two, Chad's going to feel it. What I'm going to do is move my hands around so he can feel it. And when he feels it, I'm going to ask him, when you start feeling, I can feel the energy coming from the aura of your, up in the head area. You should start feeling something, and let me know when you feel it, okay? Relax, it's okay. I'm amping up the energy more into his brain area. Chad, let me know when you feel something.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, you feel it? You feel it, right?
Feel something.
He's feeling, he's in Ohio and I'm in Connecticut. He feels what I'm doing with the palm of my hands. I'm doing this remotely. and we're going to take out the implants. What you're going to do, Chad, is when I get to the area where the neck area is, you tell me when to stop, and I will stop, and I will pull out the implant. Tell me when I'm getting close to the area, and I'll stop. I'm going to amp up the energies. Once I find out where the first two implants are, I'm going to take them out.
They're right behind my ears.
Behind your ears? Okay, we'll go there. Tell me, I'm going near the ear area. I'm going to go up and down scanning the area. You tell me when to stop. And folks, all over the world, what you're watching is encounters, and the commander is doing a remote implant removal with the palm of my hands. Tell me when. I think I'm pretty close. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, right there, stop. Okay, this is not going to hurt. I'm going to pull both implants out. I'm taking one implant out now. I'm going to pull on it and take it out. Nothing to worry about. You might hear a little different kind of feeling in your skin as I pull it out near the ears. I'm pulling it out, and when I pull it out, you tell me it's out. I'm taking one out now. When I have it out, you tell me. You're going to feel it. At the tip of the end of it, you'll feel something. I'm going to yank this out. It won't hurt. I'm going to do a real pull on it. I'm using my heat energy to pull the remainder of it out now. Relax, it's okay. Tell me when this one's out and I'll take the other one out. So you have to tell me when to stop and that you have it out, that I have it out.
I don't know.
Well, you'll know by the feeling.
I had like a ringing in my ears for a second there.
Okay. So the ear that I just worked on, how does that ear feel? Does it feel a sensation coming through it? I'm working on your right ear right now. Keep your eyes closed. Just focus. Focus. Inner focus. I'm going to amp up the energy on both ears. I'm working on the other ear right now. Tell me when to stop. I'm scanning that ear. I can feel the energy around the ear. I think I'm pretty close to the implant. So I rely on you for the only thing I rely on you is to tell me when to stop. I'm going to amp up the heat energy on that ear.
You got it.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take it out. What I'm doing to everybody around the world is I'm pulling out an implant. I'm going to pull it out. I'm staying within that area. You're watching encounters, and I am pulling it out. When I complete the pullout of the implant, you need to tell me, yes, Commander, I feel it coming out or something.
Feel something.
Yeah, I'm pulling it out. It's a big implant. I'm going to pull it out. You're going to start feeling the end of it too. It's a huge implant, but what appears small to somebody, these implants are kind of big. Almost out. You tell me when you feel the end of it. It's almost out of your ear now. You tell me when to stop. Just focus on it. Stop.
Yep.
Okay, it's out. I'm going to destroy that implant. And I give it back up to the creator. I do this all the time. I don't hold on to it. I destroy it, and I give it up to the creator. So both your ears are now released of the implant in the ear section. Give me a second to re-energize and regroup for a minute. I'm talking to Chad here in Ohio. I'm in Connecticut, and I've actually taken out 2 implants, one in the right ear, behind his ear, one on the left ear. Nobody in the world is doing this. And the reason I do this is that's part of my mission work. I'm a talk show host on NPR radio, but I'm also a contactee that had contact when I was a kid with space people of light. There's a lot you're going to learn about this show and about me in the future. And those that are new to this show, welcome to our program. I'm glad you found it. Now, Chad, tell me the other area where there was something that happened to you.
What'd you say again?
What was the other area of your body where you had implants?
They're on close to my shins on the inside of my legs.
In your
The
legs,
2
okay.
spots.
And two spots. Are they on both legs or one leg?
Both legs. They never go away.
Both legs. They never go away?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to scan those areas. We're going to do one leg at a time. Get the implant out of one leg near the shins, and the other leg will do that. Excuse me. You're watching Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon, host of the show. I am also from another world. I came from Mars originally. There's a whole story behind that. I'm a contactee. And I also am a Christed being of light with the Ashtar Command. And I'm here on Mission Earth. So that gives you a little bit of background to be short. Okay, we're going to work on one leg, and then we'll work on the other leg. So when I get to the area where the implant is on one leg, tell me to stop. And I'm going to visualize the leg right now in my consciousness. And you tell me when to stop. Mahansu, good to see you, brother. You tell me when to stop, and I will actually stop, and I will get the implant out. So now scanning the leg area. Keep your eyes closed, please. Yeah, now I'm scanning the leg area. You tell me when I need to stop. I'm trying to find out where the implant is.
Stop.
Okay. All right. We're going to focus on the implant. I know it's where my other hand is here. I think that's where it is. I'm going to pull the implant out. I'm going to heat up on the other end of the beam of light to push it out. So as I'm pulling, I'm pushing it with the other leg, and my hand is going into your physical area of your leg. And I'm going to push it out with the other hand here. It will not be able to stay there, even if it tries to move back in. I'm beaming a light to it, and I'm taking it out. Let me just do this here. When I have it out of that leg, tell me to stop. I'm pulling it out now. I've got a hold of it. Some of these implants, they move, but this one cannot move. I've got complete hold of it. I'm neutralizing the implant. I'm neutralizing the whole implant right now, so it cannot get away. And I'm just going straight up with my hand. This thing is a big implant too. Tell me when the end of it's out. I'm going to pull it out now, and tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me destroy this implant, please. I put my 2 hands together. I'm disintegrating the implant, and sending it back up to the creator. The implant is disintegrated and no longer exists, but just make sure it goes back up to the creator. We're going to do the other leg, and we're going to take the implant out of that one too. When we get the other implant out, Chad, you'll have no more implants in your body. All 4 implants will be taken out, destroyed, and you'll find yourself, your parts of your body where the implants were, those parts of your body are going to heal around behind your ears. That's going to heal pretty quickly in the next few days. And the healing will also happen in the leg area too. So now I'm going to do the other leg that he has, where there's an implant, and we're going to take that implant out. And for those watching this, this is really happening. You know, we're not doing some whatever you think it is. This is the real deal. Let's do this here. I'm going to scan that leg now. When I get to where the implant is, you tell me to stop. And you're watching Encounters Worldwide, the spiritual UFO talk show, the #1 talk show on social media. Okay. So we're going to take that implant out, the 4th implant in his leg area, and we're going to pull it out. And when we have it out, I'm using a lot of light energy now. We're going to push it out with the other hand, and I'm pulling it out with the other hand that I have it. I have a hold on the actual implant, and we're going to pull it out now and neutralize it first. So we're neutralizing the implant in his body, in the leg, and then we're going to take it out. Some of these implants, like I said, are living implants. They move. We're going to make sure this thing just comes right out. So we're going to push it. I'm putting my hand through the leg. He won't even know it. He'll just feel the energy, a tingling sensation. We're taking the whole implant out now. Taking it out right now. And these implants are a lot bigger than people think sometimes. We're going to take the remainder of it out now, and I'm going to pull it out quicker. He's going to feel a little bit of stuff going on. When I have it out, you tell me to stop, Chad. Almost out. Almost. Almost.
Stop.
Okay, we're going to destroy the implant. And we give it back up to God. We disintegrate the implant, and it's completely gone.
That is so weird, man. I just felt something in my leg. Like,
Yeah, I took it out.
what the fuck?
I took out the implant. So I know for some people watching this show, this is incredible. You can't believe this is happening. You can't believe there's somebody out of 7 billion people that can take out ET implants. I can. I work with the Ashtar Command. I work with the forces of light. I am from off planet. I am human. I'm a star seed, but I came here to help people. I came here to help people. I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. I don't just talk the talk. I walk the walk every day. That's the difference. I don't talk the talk. I walk the walk. You see? And Chad, you're going to feel, I'm going to put a few things I want to do with you right now. I'm going to put a shield of light around your body. It'll be a permanent shield on his body, folks, and he'll be protected always, and they will never come back. The negative ETs will never bother you again. So just keep your eyes closed for a minute. Yes, I do have parents off planet. My mother, my father, 2 sisters, and a brother on a spaceship. Let's see here. Okay, I feel the energy field of your body. We're going to put a shield around you. Let me know as you feel it. It's a light energy. I'm actually putting a shield around you. It'll be invisible to the human eye. When I get putting the shield around you, you'll be protected. So wherever you go in life, wherever you travel, you'll be well protected with the shield.
That's good.
Yeah, do you feel the energy?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm doing everybody watching this, I'm putting a shield around him that cannot be penetrated, and he will only have positive contact for the future. And as you record spaceships, Chad, you will see ships of light, and you'll have discernment as you're looking at them, as you're recording them. Your inner spirit, when you meditate, you'll be able to know.
It's funny that you say that, because every time I say something about let me see a UFO, they kind of appear.
Well, now when you say that, instead of saying I want to see a UFO, I want you to say, I wish to only see Christed beings of light that come from peaceful worlds, spiritual beings of light, to show their ships. You need to be very specific from now on, and you will only see positive ships.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I want you to do. as well. And I want you to say these words, and this is really important too. This will also firm up the deal. I am
I am
a cosmic, Christed
Christed
being of light.
being of light.
I will never be abducted again.
I will never be abducted again.
I am free.
I am free.
I am free from the negative ETs.
I am free from the negative ETs.
All right, brother, you are free. And I appreciate your story, and you're welcome here all the time. I'm on at 11 o'clock at night with my show. It's the #1 UFO talk show. We do a number of things, and this is one of the things I do because I come from off planet. As well as I am human, yes, but I have a consciousness of the cosmic Christ levels where I come from, and I've been activated a few months ago by my father. So I want to thank you, Chad. When you go to sleep tonight, you will feel better. You'll the part where the implants were, the inner part of your cellular structure, your skin, it's all going to heal.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Thank you.
I was just wondering if anyone else has seen something like I've seen.
Oh, the UFOs?
The light that shined down on us was like a white light. It almost looked like a wall around us.
Mm-hmm. Was that when you had the missing time?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a beam. They were beaming you onto their ship when they abducted you. That's why.
I just remember it kind of appeared out of nowhere and stopped in midair, was silent, shined its lights on us. Remember girls screaming and running in the house, but after that, I just remember standing up watching it leave.
Yeah, that's after you had missing time. Yeah, they basically abducted everybody in your group, and the beam was a beam to take you on their ship.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it was. See, I read stories too. Like when I read your story, I know what's happened to you. So yeah, that's what it was. You won't have that happen again. I can trust that you're in now good shape.
Thank you.
All right, Chad. Thank you, brother, for coming forward with this. And thank you for letting me help you get rid of the implants. I appreciate you so much.
Have a good one.
You too. And we're going to bring Chad down on the show. So now, not only do I interview people about what's going on with the crash in Virginia, I also do this kind of stuff too on my show. I do things because I work with the Ashtar Command. For those that don't know what the Ashtar Command is, they are the positive side of the coin. If you flip the coin, the Ashtar Command is the positive side of the coin. They're men and women. They have families on their own planets. They are advanced spiritually and advanced with their spaceships, and they are very beautiful. My parents are very beautiful. My two sisters and my brother on the ship are beautiful. They're human just like we are. They just have been around a long time, and they've lived for thousands of years, and they still look like they're 20 or 30. And this is the truth, you know. And I want to thank Chad for coming on the show. Now I need to drink some apple cider. I need the apple cider. Whew. So all the new people, you just saw something that is being documented. All my shows are on my YouTube channel, Astrogram Spaceship News. Do you age? In my space body, I don't age. Basically, aging is a process of the brain. So the reason why Earth humans age, because they're programmed in their brain to believe when they have a birthday, they get older. But you can, if you learn how to control your brain, you can control your aging system on Earth. But most humans don't know how to do that. They say, oh, I'm getting old now. So then they put that belief system in their brain. Oh, I'm getting old now. It tells you you're getting old. So therefore you become acting like an old person. But the brain, if you retune the brain, it can be adjusted. You know, you can control your own aging process on Earth. Most humans don't know how to do that. You know, they don't. A long time ago, woke up to the idea and understanding that I can tell my brain to stop it. Meaning, I tell the brain, no, I don't believe in aging. I just don't believe in it. And I really don't believe in it. If you say you don't believe in it, it doesn't mean you don't believe in it. If you really, truly don't believe you have to age, you can control your brain. If everyone here was to control their brain, you would control the aging process. Therefore, you would not look like you're 80 years old when you're 80 years old. But most humans don't know how to do that. But you can control the aging process on Earth. It will be more of an opportunity for people when we have contact in 2026. Ah, good, Slay. Good. You know? And there's somebody. So I have two people that want to come up. And let's see. I'm going to bring the first one that's been waiting in Quebec, my friend in Quebec. And then I'll bring on Brooklyn as the next guest. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. We hit over 103,000. Thank you. And hey, O'Day, good to see you. How's everything in Quebec?
Everything is going well. It's getting cold. You know,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not, you're in Canada. Everything is getting cold. So we're starting to wear coats and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know how Canada is.
Well, yes, I do. I've been up to Quebec many times. So what's happening in your cosmic life?
Something happened because I was watching one of your live maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I took a picture in my room and I saw twilight. That's one. And I was listening to you another time, and I saw a flash passing by my eye.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And was the light in your room with you, or?
No, the light just passed by the side of my eye.
Right, but I'm trying to say is when the light passed by your side of the eye, were you seeing it outside a window outside of your living place?
No, I was in my room.
Oh, so the light, I'm saying the light you saw was in the room with you, correct?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that, seeing that light?
I didn't feel anything negative. I feel something positive.
And how big was the light?
It was, I don't know, well, it was a small light. It was not a big one.
Okay. So what I'm trying to figure out if it was extraterrestrial that was just coming across as a light, a circular light that just wanted to show itself to you. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Wendy's saying it could have been a light being, and it could have been. A light being could change its form into a circular thing, and it could have just been coming by to check you out and then just leave.
Just leave, because at the same time you were talking, I was gonna ask you to take me, but at the same time I just saw it passing by real fast.
Wait a minute, you just saw it now?
No.
Earlier.
Last week.
Last week, okay. I was going to say, if you saw it again during the live, that'd be kind of interesting. So,
but the thing that when I saw it last week, it was during your life. During your life.
It was during my live. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's very cool.
That's really very strange, but it happened.
I believe you. You know?
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you shared that. You know, I wish if it happens again when I'm doing a live show, during the live, I'll bring you right up.
Okay. And something I forgot to tell you, because you know the first time I told you there was 3 alien beings that kind of took out my eyes and everything. Something happened and I forgot to tell you because I'm Catholic, I was doing a novena, I was praying. And one of the beings came by and was doing something in my eyes while I was praying. I forgot to tell you that. I don't know how I forgot to tell you that, but I forgot.
So the being that was doing something to your eyes, what did the being look like? Can you explain what the extraterrestrial looked like?
They had blue skin.
It was blue skin. And how tall was the being?
7 to 8 feet tall.
7, 8 feet tall. Okay. Was it a man or a woman?
See, I can tell. Because the
You couldn't
first time
tell?
they came with three, I couldn't tell the first time it was three. The second time, one of them came while I was praying,
Hmm.
and they were doing something in my eyes.
Did it hurt? When they were doing the thing in your eye, did it hurt or what was going on with that?
No, I didn't feel any pain.
No pain. So, did you have any problems with your eye, with your vision or something before that?
No.
No. Did you think that did your vision get more improved after they did it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't see any
Hmm.
different because I'm wearing
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah. So, I believe the blue beings were Arcturians.
Okay.
I think you had contact with the Arcturians. The Arcturians are blue, like a blue color. The men and women from like the Arcturian star system, Arcturians are blue. So they were were they like really gentle when they were working on the eye area?
Oh, they are very gentle.
Very gentle, yeah. Yeah, those were definitely Arcturians.
But
Very
they had pointy
interesting.
ears. So
They
yeah,
had
I don't know.
pointy
What
ears,
do you think
okay.
about it?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen an Arcturian's ears, but I think Arcturians could have pointy ears, but they're
Okay.
blue. The Arcturians
They're
are
blue.
like a blue, beautiful blue color.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were Arcturians. Very interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that part of your story. I never knew. Really.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Odell's our friend up in Quebec, and keep warm, so to speak, right?
Thank you.
All right. Hey, we'll take down sister. And they're definitely Arcturians. Let me see who else we got coming up here. Baby Brooklyn. Baby Brooklyn's been on the show. Baby Brooklyn, New York. On Encounters, #1 spiritual UFO talk show. Baby Brooklyn, good to have you with us.
I'm happy
Hello.
to be here. Hello,
Hey,
can you
how
hear
you?
me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hi. Hello. I'm happy to be here on the show.
So what did you want to share with our audience all over the world?
Well, okay, I went to the dentist recently to have some work done. And when they did the work, the dentist, he injected a lot of Novocaine in my mouth. And then he went to extract a tooth. But when he extracted it, he extracted a large piece of my jawbone with it.
Oh my God.
Yes, and it happened last week, and I have a broken jaw right now as we speak.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
How did he take that all out? I mean, how did he do that?
I'm not sure, but he kept telling me to raise my left hand, if I feel pain. And I did that. I rose my left hand like 5 times. And he injected more Novocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he used some sort of instrument, and he snatched my tooth out,
Ooh.
but the way that he did it, he took a chunk of my jawbone out with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Thank you.
No, I'm really sorry you did. Yeah, some people say you need to get a lawyer. They're right. You should get a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely get a lawyer. You promise to get a lawyer?
Yes, I promise. Do you
Yeah.
think that they took an implant or something out or something? I don't know.
I'm not getting that. I don't know. I mean, a dentist that is a good dentist, that is really kind of strange. They take that whole part of your mouth out like that. That is like, I'm trying not to visualize it. It was a terrible thing that was done to you. if it was one tooth, they should have been able to extract the tooth without taking all of that out. I'm not a dentist. I know nothing, but I would definitely get a lawyer.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know the extent of the damage yet.
Yeah. You need to get an honest lawyer that deals with that. You need to check out a few lawyers that are honest and that really care about this kind of thing. And get a lawyer for sure. But I don't think it was an implant. I think what he did was wrong. I think that he wouldn't have been. First of all, if he's a dentist and there was an ET implant in your where your tooth is, there's no way he would know that. He couldn't have known that. They're not trained to know that, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that. Absolutely sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I bless you. We love you, and I really do hope you get this dentist, because that's not right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and right, MW's right. Get a lawyer that deals with dental malpractice. Look up dental malpractice in your area where you live, and check out a few things on dentists who do that. See what people are saying about. See what people are saying about dental malpractice lawyers, and find out locally who's got the best reviews. Do a little bit of research.
Okay.
Okay, baby.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
All right. We send you our love, and we hope everything goes well. Okay.
Yep. I love your show. Love you and everybody. And thank you so much. I watch your show all the time.
We appreciate that. Without you, I couldn't be doing this, so I thank you. We'll let you down gently off the ship. Yeah, that's no good. Hey, Mahansuk, good to see you, brother. Yeah, that's not right. No dentist should be doing that kind of work. There shouldn't be a dentist. Now, this is not a show about dental people. She was wondering if there was an implant taken out. That dentist just did something they should have never done. That totally is, wrong. And we're sending her a lot of love and light on this show. So definitely. And we've had quite a show tonight so far. And so we're going to continue to interview people. He was definitely reckless. He shouldn't be, doing dental work on people, But we are having a great show. You're all making it great, as always. And if you've had any encounters, positive encounters, hey, Bridget, good to see you. And you've had direct positive encounters with space people, I'd love to hear your story. If you've had sightings recently, we'd like to hear about it. Velma, thank you for the Heart Me on the Encounter Show. Everybody here, welcome. And we had Chad on earlier, who I took out 4 different implants in his body remotely with my hands. I took the implants out and destroyed them. That is that's recorded on the show. This show will be on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch it. If you missed me taking out the implants, you'll be able to see that as well. Working in the cosmic Christ at levels of light always. That's the only way I work. And also the man from Mars. Mahansuk knows the way I work. We know the way Mahansuk works. Jim says, I feel I have 2 implants in my right arm. Open to a sightings encounter. Yeah, we'd love to hear those stories. Jim says, let's see, someone wants to come up here. Dragon Candy says, I've been having some personal activity. Dragon Candy has 308 followers. Dragon Candy, when you say you've been having some personal activity, can you be more specific? Are you talking about visitations by ETs? I need to know specifics. Dragon Candy, can you tell us a little bit more about that? And it's always great to have people commenting. So before I bring you up on the show, I need to hear a comment about what your experiences is that you're having, so I can determine whether to bring you up. You have to be over 18, no foul language, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no drugs, no paranormal discussion, no religion, and no politics, no kids on the show. Oh, visits. I'm going to bring you up, Candy, Dragon Candy. Dragon Candy, just press the accept button or go on my multi-guest option. I do have a multi-guest option. And I want to hear her story. Dragon Candy. Dragon Candy, where is she? Dragon Candy, if you don't know how to come up, press the multi-guest button on your TikTok and I can bring you up. There's a multi-guest option on your TikTok, somewhere on your TikTok side of your screen, and I can bring you up. I sent you a guest request. We'll see if we can get her up. And we are drinking a little bit of apple cider here. So I don't see Dragon Candy in here. I don't see her saying anything. Welcome everybody to the show. And again, you have to tell me in sentences, if you had an experience, why you want to come up. I need to know that first. Kay Trub, welcome. Kay Stella, welcome to the show. All the new people. This is Encounters. We're on, if you're new, nightly at 11 o'clock. Once in a while, I'll take a night off. And every night, except, there are times when I do take one night off. Mahatsuk, peace to you, brother. May the spaceship of light land in your yard, always. Let me see here. So Candy made a comment about personal visitation, and I am trying to get her up here. I'm going to go back to her profile. She's in here somewhere. Here she is. Candy, we're going to invite you again. I just sent you an invite. Press the accept button when I send it to you. You're going to see a thing pop up. Press it and save it. Press and save. If you're watching my words, I'm trying to tell you how to come up. But I don't think she's going to make it. And Kyle Thompson, 57, believe your eyes, you're human. You're human. Matthew, welcome to the show. Frog, welcome. Thank you for the compliment of everyone in the medical field. Dragon Candy. I love when people have a real story to tell and they never come up on Encounters. Hey, Jody K. Elephant, welcome. Patchy Guetta, welcome, Patchy Guetta. Ricky Rhodes, Ricky Rhodes. Sancho, welcome, Sancho. Cassie01, welcome, Cassie. Multiple abduction experiences. 63 something, 82, 2020 NDE experiences. Yeah, probably shy. Thank you. Now this person here, Johnny, is saying he's had some experiences. Let's see. I think Johnny has enough to come up on. So Johnny, we're going to bring you up. You have to be over 18. The rules of the show here are no smoking, no drinking, no drugs of any sort, no paranormal discussion, no politics, no religion, no kids on the show, and over 18. So we're going to take a chance on Johnny and try to get his experience. And let me see here. All right. Good evening, Johnny. Welcome to Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon, the host. And tell us where you are and tell us when things started happening on your end of it.
Hello. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And, I've been following the news you have there about the crashes, and that's what caught my attention. I have been on other shows. In 1963, I had my first abduction experience. And recently, relatively recently, I'm 76 now, I have been telling what has happened. And the reason I haven't told or haven't revealed this information is because of my career.
Mm-hmm.
Those early years were no one would believe, no one would understand, at that time. So let me go to the 63 experience. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm 15, and this is 1963. You have to go back that far. And I was 15 years old at the time, and it was nighttime. It was about 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in that area. And I woke up, I heard a noise. I woke up and I saw all these flashing lights, multiple lights that were coming into the bedroom. And my brother slept up above me in bunk beds. And my other 2 brothers, they were little, they were on a bed to the left side of the room. So all 4 of us were in one room. And there were 6 of us in the family. And anyhow, I go to the window to observe, and I got to let you know these are long stories.
That's okay.
I go to the window, and I look out, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a police car. There's a fire truck, something like that, because it was a large noise, and I'm thinking, gee. What could this be with all these multiple lights? So I pull the curtain back, and our house was a ranch house. It was all one floor. And so I'm kind of tall. I'm 6'2", and I was tall for my age. So when I went to the window, I'm looking way above the windowsill. And we had bushes outside our window that were below the window. Yeah. And they're green. So anyhow, I go to the window and I pull back the curtain, and I'm staring in the face of a gray alien. We know that, what we call that today.
Yeah, the Zeta, yeah.
And I like froze. And
wow.
The next thing I know, I'm coming down my hallway toward my bedroom, and I'm wondering, why am I coming down this hallway going back to my bedroom? It didn't make any sense, I felt I had been outside and I had just come into the house and was coming down the hallway going back to my bedroom. And it just didn't, it didn't make sense. So I went and lay down on my bed for a minute, and I thought, no, I got to tell my mom about this. And I went into my mother and dad's bedroom, and I told them, I couldn't wake up my dad because he worked shifts and he would be angry at me.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I went over to my mom's side of the bed, and I slowly woke her up, and I began to tell her what I had experienced. And I told her I was out in the backyard and went into this flying saucer. And I told her that we have to call President Kennedy right away. We have to let him know that this stuff is going on, that this is happening. And we have to warn him. We have to warn him because apparently I was shown things on the craft. And this is rather difficult. I never have gone under hypnosis for that experience. But things have bubbled up through all these years, like come to the surface. And anyhow, I remember being out there, and I remember, like, I was educated. I don't know how to explain it more than that. And so my mom, she just told me, oh, it's a bad dream. It's a bad dream. Go back to bed. It was not a bad dream. And I eventually went back to bed. Eventually went to sleep. Eventually went to school the next day. Now we'll shift to 1982. I'm 34 years old. I'm in Ohio now, in a small town called Hammondsville, Ohio. I have finished college, and I am teaching. And I teach physics, computer science, mathematics, earth and space science. I'm just like a generalist in science, if you will. And I have gone and spent, since 1993 up until 2010, most of my summers at 4 or 5 workshops with NASA and astronomy, just a wide range of topics, everything from computers at Kent State to working in copper mines in Houghton, Michigan, and Berkeley and Green Bank Observatory and Johns Hopkins and George Washington University. And I have a huge resume. Anyhow.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think 1982 triggered all that. When I was, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I was driven. And in 1982, let me begin that experience.
Yeah.
It was a cool night, and we lived in the Hammondsville house that the town is named after. It's a big farmhouse, spiraling staircase that goes down to the front. In the back, it's just a small staircase to the back door. Yeah. And that's the entrance we used because we rented half the house from the owners.
Wow.
And I just taught just across the street from it and down the hill. And as it turns out, it's a rural area. You know, this isn't a big city.
It's not built up. Yeah,
right, yeah. And we had gone to bed. It was about 2:00 in the morning, and I hear this noise, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a coal truck. Oh, it's an airplane. Oh, it's a jet. It's a helicopter. Yeah. I'm going through all the gamut, trying to figure out what the hell this noise is.
Right.
And so next thing I know, I hear the dogs barking down in the valley. And the dogs would bark, and then you'd hear them yelp.
Yelp, yeah.
And I thought, oh, they're chasing the deer. They're chasing the deer, and the deer are kicking them, okay?
Yeah.
And then the dogs closer would bark and yelp, and then the closer, you know, is it like something was moving up the valley?
Yeah, and they're barking.
This is Yellow Creek, and there's a river that runs, you know, through this area, and a valley. The Indians used to live in this area. Anyhow, to go on now, I find out later what is causing this, and I'll get to that.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, we had the window slightly cracked open, and I had the door slightly cracked open because it was a coal-fired house, and we would keep, I'd keep the door open in case there was a fire. I could get everybody out. That was the plan. Right. I could smell smoke, you know, and wake everybody up. So my son was sleeping in his crib, and we had a crib downstairs, and we had one upstairs. And his was sort of like near the foot of the bed, but it wasn't. It was a little further away. And my wife's sleeping on my left side. I'm on the right side of the bed. And we had, I'll explain that in a minute. Anyhow, we get to go. I hear the noise, and I'm curious because I'm not like awake or asleep or, you know.
Right, you're in between.
Just curious, like what the hell is that? You know,
what's going on, right?
Yeah, and the next thing I know, I hear this woo, 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 woo noise, a thudding noise, like a big vibration. You could feel it in your body.
Right.
The impulse was so great, you could feel it in your body. And I had this feeling like something huge was over the farmhouse.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And all of a sudden, the room filled with this energy. And that's the only way I can describe it, is like a blue-white energy. And it began to scan back and forth through the room.
Was it scanning you or the room?
Yes, everything, the room, it was scanning everything. And it was really curious because we had an HO train layout. My son was 3 at the time. And we had an HO train layout on the, 4x8. I left on the left side. The farmhouse has big rooms.
Wow.
Anyhow, on the left-hand side of the room, and they were really whatever it was really curious about it because it kept sweeping over that back and forth and
wow.
back and forth, and then finally it come back to this general blue-green light that was scanning my body, and I'm like frozen there, and I could feel the springs in the mattress, below the mattress, vibrating.
Oh my gosh.
It was that penetrating. You could feel it moving things in the springs, and all of a sudden it went to an extreme mode. Like it became intense, and it was like if you took a knife and stuck it in my ear.
Right.
Okay, because the energy and the intensity I could feel it went right through my body.
The whole
And
room.
I had this feeling like it was sweeping downstairs. Now we had two floors and then a coal area. And this sweep kept sweeping back and forth, checking out the house. And I could sense that's what they were doing. And then all of a sudden it shuts off. And there's a dead silence. But this thing is still looming over the house. Enormous.
It was a spaceship.
I could sense it. Yeah, I could sense it. And the next thing I know, I'm leaning on my right side, and I'm looking toward the door. And I'll go cut out some, but a hand came around the door. I saw the hand come around the door, and then it's like, consciously, I lose consciousness not long after that. But as this hand comes around the door, I don't say, who the hell is that? Who is that? What are you doing here? Nothing like that. Here's what I say to myself. Here they come again.
Here they come again. See,
here they come again.
Johnny's saying, here they come again. You're watching Encounters, and we're interviewing Johnny, who's had a lot of experiences in the 70s. And he said, so there's a part of your memory that knows they've been with you before. They've come to you before. Many times. Yeah. And these are Zeta. These are the Zeta. The people call them Greys, but they're actually from the Zeta Reticuli system. So you've been, would you say, it's in your 70s, how many times would you say you've been abducted?
I have no idea. The consciousness ones I can remember in 63, 82, and 2020. Okay. And the ones that I really, I consciously remember them. Okay. Others, I think they come. I'll get into that later, but I really think they control time and space like we can't even begin to imagine. And because I've questioned consciousness, what the heck it is, Yeah. But anyhow, to go on with this story, because there's more. I go and I black out, and then the next conscious thing I remember is the craft is moving away, and I can see it out of the bedroom lights moving away. We had two windows on that side, and I could see it moving off very slowly, throbbing like it did the whole time. And my wife wakes up, who I tried to wake up earlier. I couldn't wake her up. And she wakes up and she says, "What was that?" Right. And I said, "I don't know," because you got a gap here, got a gap in time, got a gap in everything. But I was angry. For some reason, I was extremely angry. I felt like I had been violated. I don't know what a rape victim feels like. I can't go there, but as far as I was concerned, that's what I felt like. I felt like a rape victim. Yeah, and I went downstairs. I got up, I went downstairs, and I ran through the house, and I thought, that we had crystal glasses and stuff, and I thought, the vibration had to have shattered, something broke. There has to be proof somewhere, something, Nothing, nowhere in the house, nothing. You know, and it's like you really badly need something to hang on, you know, to grab a hold of. But I can't get over this. I got to explain. I was like angry about something. You know, especially
Well,
like I felt violated.
let me jump in here. So as I'm listening to your story, the anger, because I remove implants and I do it on my show here. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are the positive space people. They look just like us, and they watch my show. They're watching it now from a spaceship on a monitor. So my father gave me the ability to take out implants. I've been doing this implant removal for about 2 months with people, no matter what year they had the implant. The violation and the anger is because you were not able to stop them. They controlled you. That's why, and you have every right to be emotionally angry.
Well,
they violated you and put implants into you.
There's more to it than that. Let me finish the story, because this is just one episode.
Okay.
Anyhow, I went back upstairs. I couldn't go to sleep. Eventually I do, and I had school to teach the next day. The next day I go and I ask the children, without alerting anyone, because no one's going to believe this, right? And I asked if anybody else heard the dogs bark, and they all said they heard the dogs bark. One girl up the road from me, her father was a teacher also, she said they saw lights. They saw lights that night, and it would have been right in the path, right over their house too. And and there was a report in the news that people had seen something about that time. So this sat on me for a long time. My wife, she says, you know, you should go to one of these UFO conventions and talk to somebody. Well, I did. I went to, in 1988, I wrote a letter to Bud Hopkins.
Oh, yeah, Bud,
And then he said, and I wrote to about 3 or 4 different people. And of course, they're all far away from Hammondsville. And they suggested somebody locally, you know. So I went to Stan Gordon. And the first time I went to a UFO conference, I was leery. And then the second time I went, I made contact with him, and he suggested a hypnosis, you know, somebody who could hypnotize me. Yeah. And I went to see him, and this was in 1988.
And who was the person you went to see for the hypnosis? It was what was the person's name?
Let me see here. I'd have to look that up now. Hold on.
You're watching Encounters. Johnny's our guest. He's in his 70s, and he was abducted evidently multiple times. He's an abductee.
And I want to share my story so people know about this, because I'm getting older, and I think it needs to be told. And I was told, and this came out under hypnosis, that I was supposed to forget. I'm not supposed to talk about it, okay? And that was the suggestions that were given to me, and I'll get to that in a moment. I'm looking for the man's name.
No, I understand that.
I've only seen him one time. I'll get it here in a moment. But let me continue. So we went to see the hypnotist. I had to drive to south of Pittsburgh, and I went in there, and I thought, I probably can't even be hypnotized. You know what I mean? I'm a pretty smart fellow. And I thought, I can't, this is all malarkey. This can't happen.
Right.
And I was in there, and he spent a considerable amount of time to eventually get me, I got hypnotized, but it took him a while to get me to the level needed to open up. In other words, the memories were way down. And anyhow, I began to tell what happened under hypnosis. Under hypnosis, they put me on this gurney, and I don't know how to explain it. It'd be like, like a cot, but it wasn't a cot.
Right.
Okay, and we went up through the roof of the farmhouse.
Wait a minute. Let me slow you down for it. So you were taken up by these ETs through the roof of the farmhouse?
Yes.
How did they do that?
I saw the roof dissolve in front of my eyes.
It dissolved?
Yeah, it just like separated, and I felt a static as I moved through it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the next thing you know, I'm moving up through the air and had to be 500 feet in the air, somewhere in that
500
neighborhood.
feet in the air. Wow.
Yeah, and we're being taken. I'm being taken into this vehicle, and it was really odd. I even marvel at it today. They had to jury it around to get me into the space vehicle. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, saucer, whatever you want to call it. But as I got in there, they had a hard time like maneuvering it, and I thought, in my mind, I'm thinking they travel between stars and go all these places, but they have a hard time getting me into the vehicle.
Well, that's
that
kind of
was
weird.
what was going through
Now,
my head.
when you say vehicle, you're talking about a spaceship.
Yes, I am. Yes,
And when he says vehicle, he's talking about being taken in a
It
ship.
had to be. Yeah, it had to be something to do with security or something about the entrance. It wasn't. It wasn't like straight in. You know what I mean? It wasn't a simple maneuver at all. And eventually, I get in there, and without going in and dragging this on too long, they perform experiments on me and testing, and they were very interested in my eyes, my shoulders, the sex organs. They examined me.
Yeah,
Okay,
I got it. Yeah.
And there was pain involved, especially around the eyes. There were just many things done, and the next thing I know, I'm being returned.
Right, from the spaceship to the farmhouse.
Yes, and I'm coming down, and I can see the stars. And as I'm coming down, it's a good distance. I can see the ground, and the lights for the farmhouse were still on, like the outside lights. So it lit up the area, and I could see that. It would be like, the amber lights, And as I come to the ground, I'm brought to the ground, and I'm standing now.
Now, when you say brought to the ground, just for the sake of context, did they lower you out of the ship onto outside the house?
Yes.
Okay, that's what they did. Okay.
We came straight down in front of it's the back of the farmhouse, actually.
Oh, back of the farmhouse, okay.
There was like a turnaround area or an area to back up and that, and a little garage there. And I came down, and I'm standing up, and I'm looking into the eyes of, this is more of a praying mantis looking alien. And I know this person. I've seen this person before. I know this person. And he's looking into my eyes, and he's giving me suggestions. And he takes me down to the very core of who I am. I respond by going, oh, 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 oh. It took me way down consciously. And I know there were suggestions given to me, or commands, however you want to look at it. And then the next thing you know, I'm conscious again, and I'm back in my bed, they have placed me on my bed. I can't move. And then this is under hypnosis. Keep this in mind now. I start crying. And under hypnosis, I'm crying because they just took my son.
Oh my God. Now wait a minute.
They took my son.
Oh my gosh. Now when you say they took your son, explain that part of it. How old was your son?
3.
Your son was in the house when you were, and you were young.
Yes.
You were a young father.
Yes.
So when they took you through the roof onto the ship and did what they did to you, they took your son out of your house. And
after they had taken me. Yes.
Was your son gone forever?
No. They took him, and the next conscious, because I was crying, and I'm sure I was thrown I was very agitated. Anyhow, I'm out again. And the next thing I know, he's back. We're in the room all together. My wife's saying, "What was that?" And the lights are moving away. So I don't have I can't give any consciousness to what happened to him other than I know they took him out of the room.
Yeah.
And then we dealt with how much time was lost, and that was very difficult because of it just, I didn't look at the clock. So I did at one point, I think. It was like when I first woke up and heard the noise, it was like 2 something. And then about 2:20, somewhere in that area. And then I didn't look at the clock again. The next time I looked at the clock, it was closer to 5 in the morning, because I know I didn't sleep long. No, I know I didn't sleep long. And because I had to be up at school for at least by 7. So, and we took my son to a daycare at that time.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so that was the experience. And like I said, I was angry about things. And that's because under hypnosis, I felt like I had been totally violated. With the exam, et cetera, that went on and whatever. And then the post-suggestions were I was to forget. And I think this was done as, and that's one thing I have to explain. I felt it was negative at the time. But as I'm getting older now, I'm beginning to see this was not negative. They did not harm me. They did not, you know what I mean, as far as I can tell, do anything negative to me. So, but other than the fact that I felt like an animal that had been subjected to this, anger at that time, and I was told by him not to talk about this. I was being defiant, and I said to myself, I have to tell somebody. So that day, the next, the day when I went to school, I told the biology teacher, I said, I got to tell somebody that this happened. So if it ever comes up again, that there'd be somebody who would say, oh yeah, he told me that in 1982, right? So I told the fellow biology teacher there, his name was Rob Warner, and I told him about it. And of course, he looked at me in total disbelief, and I mean, he asked a few questions, but pretty much, like, wow, and of course, I expected that response because it was amazing to me too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the consciousness of this being, of them being here before, and there were also, long after this, there were other events that happened. And I know. And this knowledge that I have been in a room with when I was younger, like being educated, shown the screen of the world, and there were like 3 red areas on the globe. One was in the Middle East, one was in South America, and Africa was the other one. And the warnings of destruction and disasters and just negative things. And it's just like I had said, we need to tell President Kennedy. I apparently was given information about something back then, and I've never been put under hypnosis for that.
So let me ask a question.
That's what the hypnosis wanted me to do the second time I came back, but I was afraid at the time of what I would remember.
Would you say this being was a premantis?
Yes, it was much taller. I would say at least 8 feet tall. And I'm looking right into his face. There's no doubt, that he didn't look praying mantis like.
Right. So that's interesting. So you didn't. So this was not Zeta Reticuli. This was premantis.
but I think they were both because, yeah, they were small. They were smaller, and this guy was larger. He was in charge of the show, so to speak, at least on the ground. He was in charge.
Yeah, he was in charge. So on that ship, were there both Zeta and Mantis?
Could have been. I
It
would
could have
think
been.
so because I remember like being there. There are memories I have of my mom and dad being in this. I hate to be so clear on this, but inside the vehicle, people were stuck to the walls.
Wait a minute. Human
They were
beings
like,
were stuck to the walls of the ship?
yeah, like you were, and I won't say hung like a piece of meat, but you were magnetically or some way, you were against the wall, and it was like a circular room. And
Yeah, they couldn't move. These people were
you
like,
couldn't move. You were immobilized.
they purposely, you go ahead.
You could talk, you could yell, you could do anything like that because I heard the screams of these other people. And here I am in this memory, in this concept. I'm saying, I've been there. I'm trying to calm them down.
Right.
I'm trying to tell them this will pass. I'm trying to calm them down, but I'm hearing my own father screaming. You know, he's so scared and so afraid of everything. And they and there's other things that, you know, I remember. But
let me ask you a question, Johnny, because your story is fascinating.
Yeah.
You're on the number one spiritual UFO talk show in the whole world here, right on Encounters. I'm with NPR Pacifica Radio, still doing radio for 21 years. And my encounter just briefly was with the star people that are human, that are here to help the planet and help people like yourself as well. So I'm here on a mission as well as being doing what I do here. So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I think you have implants.
I probably do, but I don't want to take them out.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, because I think there's some sort of connection there, and I don't understand it all. But I don't think it's a good idea. The other thing is that I've been on the UFO Chronicles podcast. I don't know if you know that podcast.
I've heard of it. Where is that out of? Is that on YouTube?
It comes out of the United Kingdom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's called UFO Chronicles podcast. So then let me go to the year 2020 to give you the third big conscious. I remember we had gone to bed and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and I wake up, and this is after the effect. This is after it happened, okay? I wake up, I'm going to say I wake up, but I'm become conscious, and I hear this thing move away. The next day, I find 3 green circles on the hillside, okay? We also have seen 3 circles in my mom and dad's yard on the ground, like trace evidence, and they're like green circles, and they're not fairy circles like mold is going to cause it or whatever. I actually took a Geiger counter to it, and I didn't take a compass to it. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but at the time I didn't. You know, I think sometimes we're too close to the thing. You can't objectively do the science if you're part of the thing, you know. So I did do some things, but I didn't detect anything. But it was really odd because the way the circles were and outlined on the edges, you know, and it lasted a good while. I had taken a picture of it, and I've lost the picture somehow through the years. This was back in 1993 when we seen that at my mom and dad's. Yeah. And my son was staying overnight that night that happened. He was staying overnight at his grandparents'. So, and I had come the next day to pick him up, and there were the circles. Anyhow, getting back to 2020, where I am in a room, it's round. It's like a Starbucks. There are a bunch of us abductees sitting at this table, and we're discussing and talking about things like we're at Starbucks. And there's only one way in and one way out of this room. In the meantime, we can actually see through the vehicle to the ground. I can see this. And there was some entity that was part of this vehicle, and it moved off in its own direction. And I said, good. In other words, I was glad to see whoever they were go away from this ship that I was in.
Right.
And then next thing you know, consciously, I'm back in my house.
Right.
I heard the noise. Okay. Consciously, I'm shaking like a leaf. I am scared out of my wits again because it's been, what? I don't know, almost 40 years.
Yeah.
And my wife, I go to wake her up because I'm so distraught. So I'm frightened. I'm extremely frightened.
Yeah,
and I go
scared.
down
Yeah.
the hallway and I wake up my wife, and she said she heard a noise too. She said that woke her up. And then she came to my room and stayed with me until I calmed down.
Wow.
But it's I thought, God, after 82, that it would be over, that I always had a fear that they would come back, and and I have the feeling that they did, but I'm not as conscious about it. And they seem to know that, and they nullify you somehow. They somehow
Let me say
you out.
something. Let me say something, because I deal with, I've been through all kinds of people that have been contacted by physical Palladians and star people that are opposite of what you've had experienced. And any group of beings that take you on a ship or force people against the inside of the ship that they can't move against their free will, there's nothing, as I read stories, I read the energy of the story. There's nothing, other UFO talk shows, I don't know what the other person said or whatever, but I do a lot of stuff here because I'm also a contactee. And my space family, which is Ashtar Command, are watching my shows through a ship and a monitoring system. They can monitor the whole planet, but they monitor the show, and they're hearing everything you're saying right now in your story. And so if you are abducted, which is what it is, and you're contacted. They said they were showing you things on us. They were showing you some things. Can you go back to where they were showing you different parts of the world? What were they trying to show you?
Warning, disasters, impending doom kind of scenarios. It just made me more sensitive and more aware about international activity. It wasn't just the United States; it was the world. We were part of the world.
And what year was that, Johnny, when that happened? When
82.
they showed you that?
Oh, no, that was before 82. That was
before 82.
Yeah, that was before 82, because I remember these, like I said, things have been bubbling to the surface,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And there's just so much. I can't even get into the sexual contact that I have.
No, we don't want to get into that. We'll stay away from all that stuff. But we have enough. So this is the main crux of the story. Let's just stay focused so I don't have any problems here. So as I honor the fact that you don't want any implants taken out, I have to tell you from my perspective, because I read energy, part of what my father gave me is the ability to read people's energy. And I work in the Christed cosmic consciousness. From where I come from before I came to Earth, I was on a spaceship. My body on the ship is in stasis right now, but I am human, but I'm also, I have cosmic consciousness. I have my consciousness from off planet. So I operate in two different levels. As a regular talk show host, not so much a regular talk show host on UFOs. I want to hear your story. I honor what you're saying, but I do believe that they also put a control on your consciousness. So they make you think that, okay, the implants are not so bad. They're good for you. And I think in some ways they control that, some subliminal messaging in your consciousness. So they'll like you say, oh, I don't want to get the implants out. They're okay. They're not bothering me. But in fact, what they're doing is with the implants, they can control you. They can come back whenever they want because they got the implants in you. And,
Yes, and it doesn't matter where you're at.
It doesn't.
There's no locks. There's nothing can keep them out. You do not have people think, oh, well, you're going to go collect an item and bring it back to Earth to prove that that ain't happening.
No, it's not happening.
You're not in control of anything. Nothing.
Exactly. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Since you have no control or free will over it, how could you even want the implant still in you? What purpose does that serve? If they can keep coming back and abducting you, that's not a positive thing.
Well, no, and yet it is, because there's something, I do not know what it is, but there's some sort of destiny, some sort of reason for what I'm doing or for what I did in my life. I think that's why I pursued science and mathematics and that so heavily. I was I was health physics teacher of the year in 2004, and I was one of 4 teachers chosen across the country to work with the Spitzer Space Telescope. I have seen some
You've had
things.
experience. Now, when they took your son, though, how did you feel emotionally? Like you're talking about your son, you must have felt something like, why did they take my son?
The fact that they took him was the most alarming thing. He was helpless. I was helpless. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do nothing to protect my son.
Yeah.
And that really.
How old is your son now?
Let's see. Hans will be 79, 21, and he's 45.
He's 45, your son. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So how's your son feel?
I have to add that he a few here, let me go. I'm trying to find that man's name, but I can't find it right now. I have it in my folder, but
right.
Let's see.
Someone
here.
like Bud Hopkins, I know Bud Hopkins. I met him many times.
No, this you asked about the hypnotist. I have
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There was a man by the name of Bill Duffy and Stephen Pelez and Paul G. Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
There's a bunch of people I met with back at that time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, let me go to tell you about what my son. And now my son, he came to me when he was little. We lived in Ohio at a different location, and he came to me one morning, and he said, "Dad, there was these little people in my room, and they took me down to this space vehicle." And he insisted on showing me the location, and we went down there and looked, where it was nestled in the valley, and he insisted that they had come and had taken him when he was little. And then here, and he had some other experience too there. Let me see if I can find this for you. Hold on. I have this all written down. I got
That's okay. You're doing pretty good. You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm just doing it to refresh my memory a little bit because some of this stuff, is old for me. But he saw a spacecraft he lives in Florida now, and he was traveling in his truck, and as he was heading home, he spotted this object in the sky, and he pulled out his camera to take a picture, and his truck was running rough, and then it stopped. And then as this object got closer, it passed overhead about 500 feet, and his phone, which was on the charger, and it was charged, went dead.
Oh, wow.
And he saw the vehicle pass over him, and it was an odd-shaped vehicle. He actually, after the event, immediately drew the object on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And he noted the direction in which it was moving and the time and all that. And he called me and told me what he had witnessed. And at his house, he has security cameras, but they're, how do you say, they don't record, they just observe. He doesn't have all his cameras set up to videotape, you know.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, we thought we could get, maybe it was just a live feed, and we thought we could maybe get something from one of the other cameras, but the angle at which it came, it didn't enhance it.
They record, yeah. I got you.
And
Wow.
so, but it is amazing that he saw this and experienced this, and this was just I think it was in 2022 when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, does your son? How does your son feel about this? Does your son feel?
My son was in satellite communications in the Air Force.
Really?
My son set up the phones at the White House.
Really?
My son knows how to fix radar waveguides, color radar waveguides.
Mm-hmm.
He has worked with the NHL, spaceport, setting up computer servers and things.
Oh, wow.
He's way up there, and his uncle is into cryptology, and those two get together, it's dangerous. But he's had to work with the FBI and the CIA. And
really?
Yeah. So he is very intelligent, and I just don't know how. I just feel I had to, tell people when I turned a certain age here, and I went to the local UFO. It's called BUFO, Butler UFO group, and I spoke for the first time there to the small group, and then I spoke to another small group, and then another small group, and I've met. Barney and
Betty Hill.
Betty Hill's cousin. I can't think of her name right now, but I've talked with a lot of the people, and Nick Pope. And
I know Nick.
I gave him a
Facebook.
copy of my contacts at that time.
Yeah.
And there's been various other people. The guy on TV. I'm trying to think of his Preston Dennett. I've sent him.
Oh, Preston Dennett. Okay, yeah,
and, Linda Moulton-Howe. Yes,
I know her. Yep, I know her from years ago.
And she gave me a phone call, but I was in a position where I had a lot of people around me, and I didn't want to freely talk to her. And I tried to explain that to her, and she kept questioning me. Right. And I felt like she had an agenda that she wanted me to answer things. And I tried to, if I would have been in a better area, I could have communicated with her better.
Right. That's right.
When she called. And anyhow, I think I sent her a copy of the things too. That was back in 21, I think. I sent her stuff.
So did your son have top security clearance?
He must have had some he was in Japan, and he got to set up the phones in the White House, like I said.
And, of course, yeah.
And like I said, he had to deal with the CIA and that when he had to. So, and I can't say more because I don't know anymore.
No, well, you said a whole lot. This show is being recorded. If people missed any of it, I've been on NPR radio for 21 years. I've met a lot of the people like Linda Moulton-Howe, back in the day, and Bud Hopkins I know. There's a number of people I know, and so I'm very much invested in this as a talk show host on radio and I brought my concept to here in 2023. I started my UFO spiritual talk show here, and it went viral. So I'm glad you came on here. Your story is reaching a lot of people, and it's going to be on my YouTube channel, Astronaut Command Spaceship News. I'll have it downloaded between tonight and tomorrow night.
The more people, thank you. The more people that get to hear about these things, I think the better it is for not only people like me, but for people who haven't experienced this, so they understand what we're up against. My son saw that UFO on Saturday 19th, 2022, about 4:30 to 4:45 as he was heading home.
Wow, interesting.
And then there's one other thing I'll share with you. I don't know how much time you have now.
Oh, we have time.
One more thing, and this is going to be very hard to believe. I've actually been on, trying to remember now the name of the, let's see if I can catch it here. The researchers in California who do studies into near-death experiences and simultaneous death experiences, which is what I had when my father died. I have to share this with you because this is amazing.
And you can. We usually stay away from the paranormal, but we try to stay away from the paranormal only because I'm sure it's a real terrific story. I just have, if I open the doorway to that and the experiences, you know what I mean?
Anyhow, you can go to the site. It's I'll get that here in a minute. Anyhow, they it was amazing. They have it on their website, okay? Because it's such a gotta find it here. Why I can't find it, I don't know. Priority, there it is. Okay.
And while he's doing it, you're watching Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. And Johnny's been our guest. We are on at 11 o'clock normally till about 1, but I'm going a little bit later. We're going to be on for another few minutes, I think, or up till about 1:45 a.m. Eastern. So, yeah. And also Sunday mornings, you can watch my show on NPR Pacifica Radio affiliate, WESUFM.org, with my Cosmic Eye show, and you can watch that as well. And that's also broadcast here. Joker, we'd like to hear your story. You'll be next.
Okay.
Joker Skate 24.
So anyhow, I don't know what else to say. It's called Awaking. Here. Kathleen Martin is the woman who was Betty and Barney's cousins there.
Yeah, I met Betty Hill in early 90s at the Mutual UFO conference in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I was doing a TV show, and she wouldn't interview me, but she would talk off camera. I couldn't understand why, but yeah.
My son and I have recently developed what we call a MADAR. It's a electronic detection device that detects changes in magnetic fields. And we have one in my house, and we have one at his house now.
Oh, good.
So that's a system where if a UFO comes close, it would set off this magnetic change.
Yeah.
Wherever they go, they set off. There's huge magnetic shifts, and
and I know some people in Connecticut they're doing the same thing. The Mutual UFO group in Connecticut has some of that equipment they use as well. So I am familiar with it.
We build our own and cheaper. Anyhow, because I knew electronics in the Navy, and anyhow, I worked with electronic countermeasures and stuff. Anyhow, so I wanted to let you know that.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest on our
Okay.
show. You were a phenomenal guest, and you can count this as for you on the first time on the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I think everyone loves your story. You gave us a real good detail of everything that happened to you, so I certainly appreciate that. Everyone, I want to thank Johnny for being here, Johnny, and you're welcome back anytime. If you hopefully don't get abducted again,
No,
even if you don't get abducted, hopefully not.
that site is called sharedcrossing.com. Sharedcrossing.com.
Very good.
All right.
All right, Johnny.
Thank you.
You know, I appreciate you very much, man. You've been great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. We're going to bring Johnny down off the ship. Let me do this here. Here we go. And I'm going to see who is in the queue. Okay, so Joker. Let's see here. Joker Skate 24. Thank you for the gifts. Are you able to come up? Joker Skate 24. Joker Skate. Oh, Candy too. Is Candy still here? Is Candy still in the room? Candy, say hello. Candy's having. Well, you said you had a story. I think. Is Candy still here? Wait a minute. Let me get Candy here. Candy, I'm inviting you. Candy, press the accept button. Candy early on wanted to get on here. And Joker, hold on a second. I got to get the Candy first, and I'll have you on, I'm sure. If Candy can't get on, she's saying she have trouble getting on the show. Candy, press the accept button, and I really want to try to get you on. Earlier on in the show, you had problems doing that. And then we have these spammer thingies I'm declining that pop up on my screen. So I think Candy's having some problems. We're going to bring Joker. This spam person's trying to get back in here. You know, there's these spammers that on TikTok, somehow they come on the screen. Oh, she's really trying her hardest, man. We're going to just decline her. Next time I see that spammer coming up, I'm going to block him. Ooh, let's see here. Can I block him? Okay, let's see here. George says, my friend's seen 3 or 4. Let's see here. And please, in a sense, if you have a story to tell, not just about abductions, who here has had positive contact? I've heard a number of people with the abduction experiences. Is there anyone here having direct contact with space people that are positive? Kind Eye Joe, yes, you can. Okay, I'm gonna bring BB King up first, I think, and BB King, and then Kind Eye Joe is gonna be next. BB King, The Encounter is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on planet Earth on social media. And again, you have to be over 18. No foul language, no smoking, no vaping, paranormal discussions, religion, or politics. BB King, welcome.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing good.
So,
and we're about and so give us a background. Where about are you located?
Orange County, California.
California. Welcome to the show. And what's your first name, BB King?
You can call me King.
Okay, King. Okay. So let's get into your history and tell us what you wish to share tonight.
When I was young, I used to go to gatherings. A gathering means it's like a hippie gatherings where we go to the forest and play drums and, just hang out, right? And we went to Mount Shasta. At that time, I was in Oregon, and we drove on a bus. I was with a group of 4 people. The gathering was in Mount Shasta. And we had taken some, anyways, and we were at the woods, and I decided to hike by myself. And I sat down in this area, and I thought I was talking to a human being. And a person looked human to me. And I of course I was on shrooms, so I'm thinking, well, I'm just enjoying myself, thinking I'm speaking to a human being. But at the end, I realized I was speaking, and it was speaking, but it wasn't speaking with words. It was speaking telepathically, and I realized at that moment the being that I was speaking to wasn't human. So I went back and I told my friends about it, and my friends thought I was, I was hallucinating. But sure enough, 2 days later, somebody had the same experience with the same being, and the being appears as a human being. So, I mean, you guys can think that maybe I was hallucinating, but I was not. I was really speaking to someone. I was speaking, they were speaking to me, but not using words telepathically. And the appearance looked human, but the eye did not look human. So
Right.
that was my
So
experience.
was that a male or a female humanoid?
It was actually a male entity.
Okay.
So,
And did it look human like you or I would look if I were walking down the street?
Feature-wise, I think from what's happening is I think they have a way to control a person's telepathically. They can control your mind. So it looked human to me. But the reason I know that this being was not human was because they were communicating to me in my head. And it took me a little bit to realize that I wasn't having a normal conversation with this being. We were just having telepathic conversation. I was speaking, but he was talking to me through my head. And that's I guess maybe, that's why I was, I told my friends about it, but they shrugged it off like I was, hallucinating. But it happened to somebody else in that gathering as well. But this being looked human. And it wasn't, it appeared like everyone else as well, the appearance. So it could be they project in your mind that they look like you, look like a person that groups of people that you are, and manipulate your mind. So I don't know. Maybe I was hallucinating. I'm not sure.
So let me ask you a question. Were you not taking any kind of natural substance when you had the encounter?
At that time, I did. I was on shrooms.
Okay, so
but I'm very familiar with it. So that could not happen to me because I know, look, there was a person and I was talking to a person and that person wasn't speaking. It was talking to me in my mind and it wasn't part of the group. It wasn't part of the group.
Telepathically. And how
and
far
it
away?
wasn't part of, go ahead.
And how did you feel like, when you have an encounter, a contactee experience like that? Did you feel a sense of love and understanding? How did you feel with the encounter?
No, it was more. There was not emotion of euphoric emotion or scare emotion of being afraid. It was just how can I say? It was just like talking to a machine, like a very very intelligent machine. There was no emotion.
No emotion.
No,
That's
not for my
interesting.
part. Yeah, there's no fear. I was not scared.
Okay.
Maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know. But I talked to my friends, and they shrugged it off. But it happened to another person in that gathering, and that person and the being that I spoke with was not from that. Is not part of that group. After a while, after being there 7 days, you will see how everybody looks like. So it wasn't part of. It was something else.
Interesting. I've never heard a story like that. So definitely interesting. If you were to go back without any shrooms and go to that same area, do you think you would have a contact with that same being?
I don't know the question that you're asking.
My question is basically, I'm not telling you not to take shrooms or not. Or
No, I don't anymore. I mean, no, I don't
okay.
anymore. This is a long time ago. Actually, there's nothing wrong with taking shrooms, but this is when I was young.
Right. So if you were to go back to Mount Shasta, which is, I've never been there, but I know people that are there that are having contact with space people in the mountains. Do you think you would have a reconnection with that space person?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just curious how you feel.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you because, it happened. It was a freaky situation and a freak moment, and it happened. And I know I wasn't, I know what it feels to take mushrooms. I know the kind of hallucination. I used to take so much that I wouldn't even get hallucination like that. So it wasn't like I was, daydreaming or, like a mirage. This was a real being that was communicating with me without using their mouth to speak. that they were directly communicating with me in my head, and that being was there. So now I could say because I was on shrooms, I myself at the end started doubting what happened because
Yeah.
my friends told me, hey, you're just tripping. But what confirmed what happened was it happened to another person in the gathering as well. So
And was that other person also on shrooms, or were they not doing anything?
no. I don't know. Maybe they were smoking. They were not on shrooms, but they could have
Okay.
been smoking herbs or something. Yeah.
All right.
But
All right.
yeah.
Well, there you
But
go.
there's
Well,
something.
Yeah.
There's something there. There's something there, and maybe not. Maybe, like you said, I could have been hallucinating. I don't know.
You could have
Who
been.
knows?
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's tough to deal with a story where someone has taken a natural shroom with an experience like this, because usually, in order to make sure that you're having a real encounter and not just having the shroom create an image of something that really isn't there, it's always really important to be clear. So if you ever do have an encounter again, obviously this is when you were younger, you'd want to
Yeah.
be like we're talking here, you'd want to be completely clear and conscious so that you can actually,
Right, but
realize what you're saying.
you have to understand, a mushroom is not. I mean, you can hallucinate, but you don't hallucinate to where that you see a person. I mean, it never happened to me that way. You never get to that position. I mean,
Yeah.
you must take a whole bag if you're going to get to that situation. I didn't take that much to where that I wasn't aware of my surrounding. I was completely aware of my surrounding, and I don't think it was the chemicals. I think there was. I believe. Of course, I'm not 100% certain because, like you said, I was under the influence of something. But I
Yeah.
was certain that I sat down and communicate with something that didn't speak using their mouths to communicate, that they used telepathically to communicate with me. And there was no, when you talk to people close by, there's a subconscious communication and there's conscious communication. The subconscious communication is a feeling, right?
Yeah.
This thing was like a machine. There was no feeling. There was no energy or feeling.
Yeah, the thing that gets me, you say like a machine and no feeling. Yeah,
There was no how can I say emotions, like
yeah.
but anyways, like I said,
All right.
I could have been high, so who knows.
All right, I'm gonna bring on Joker Skate. BB King, thanks for coming on and sharing your story.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna bring him down. BB King, I am getting you on here. Where's it? Let's see. I'm gonna try to bring you up. All right, BB Joker Skate 24. You're next. Just press the button to come up. Unless TikTok doesn't let you do it, you should be able to come up on the show. And you're watching Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon on the Noman Spiritual UFO Talk Show. We're going to stay on here till maybe about 2. I'm going longer than I should. I came on here about 10:45 p.m. Sunday night, and it's now early Monday morning, and it's almost 2 a.m. So it's going to be tough here. Let me see. And we want to welcome all the people just finding our show for the first time. You're watching Encounters. We are on 11 o'clock nightly, and once in a while I will take a break. And every Sunday morning on the Cosmic Eye Ash Trickerman radio show on NPR Pacific Radio, WESUFM.org. All our shows are broadcasted and taped, hey Kit Kat, and we transfer all those shows to the YouTube channel, Ash Trickerman Spaceship News. It's not set up, okay. Dragon, we're going to try to see. I just pressed the thing for Dragon, and I hope we can get her up. She's having visitations. I've been trying to get her on here for the last 45 minutes. And let's see, Dragon, can you come up? For some reason, her TikTok will not let her go up. I don't know what's going on. All right, I think we're going to wind down here. I see Cotton Eye Joe. Cotton Eye Joe, you still here? Cotton Eye Joe. No, I've not heard about the satellite bits over DC. User 821. It's not working? Yeah. Kanai Joe, we're going to bring you up as our last guest. Kanai Joe is coming up on Encounters, hopefully. It's working. And this is Encounters. We're the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on all social media. Kanai Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Whereabouts are you located?
I'll just say Appalachians.
Oh, we have a lot of people that I know, the Appalachians, having experiences. So tell us about your story, when it started happening, and yeah, let's go from there.
Well, I was driving cross country. Had my wife with me, and well, it kind of gets funny because her sister at the time wanted us to stop in Roswell. We were heading to California, and she was watching that Roswell show back in the day, and she wanted us to go into Roswell. And I was kind of funny about it because I never had an experience yet at this point. And so I was like, okay, whatever, we'll stop in there. And so, we went in through all the shops and we did all that, checking out all the different museums and seeing all the little info on the walls, and which is kind of ironic, if you will. And then I didn't want to go through Flagstaff that night because it was night when we left, and I was going to be driving. My wife was going to be sleeping in the passenger seat. And so I wanted to go down the back way. It was a small country road that went to the west towards Southern California. And I decided I was going to cut off Flagstaff and not drive through Flagstaff that night. And so I got probably about 2 hours into the drive, maybe about 2.5 out of Roswell. And I was staying very alert, just had the music just barely up so that I can have some distraction, but not fall asleep at the wheel. And my wife was already passed out at the time. And it was just... it was dead. There was no one out there on the road. It was just me in the road. And I kept seeing these deer crossing signs.
Was that all desert? Where you were desert going on that country road?
It was getting into the mountains right there.
The mountains, okay.
There's kind of these foothills with like sagebrush kind of deal. Like it started going up into the hills. And so there's this deer crossing sign that I saw on my right. So I was staying very alert, just staying very alert because I didn't want to have any issues with a deer jumping in front of me in the middle of the night. And
yeah, of course, yeah.
And so back then we didn't have, Google Maps. We didn't have that. We had a road atlas in our car. And so before I had left, I had different pinpoints on the map of things to kind of look for, to know how far I've been driving, like where I'm at, just kind of. And I noticed on the old map, because I've looked recently and there is no Air Force base there anymore, but there was a small Air Force base that was going to be coming up on my left, and that was going to be my landmark, of, okay, I've been driving this long. And honestly, right before I got to this gate of this tiny base that no longer exists, which is weird. It was supposed to be coming up on my left, but right before I got to the gate, all of a sudden this blue bolt of light came out of the sky right to my left and bolted and stopped right at the side of the road, like right next to me, and like turned, looked at me, like I felt like it read into my soul. And I could see like this black camera thing. It was glowing blue, but when it stopped, it was a static electricity. Like all of a sudden I understood that it was static electricity that made it glow. It was interesting. And it turned, looked at me, noticed that I saw it, turned back really quick and 45'd right over the road straight into the sky.
Oh my God.
I was like, I yelled, holy shit, and all of a sudden my wife wakes up. She sees it as it's 45ing over the car.
Right.
And she's like, what the hell was that? I was like, I don't know. I said, you saw it? You
She
know what I
saw it
mean?
too.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Wow.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you saw it. And all of a sudden, no joke, all of a sudden, this white vehicle with tinted windows pulls out of the gate, follows behind us. And I'm like, act natural. Because I was ex-Navy. I'll
Yeah.
give you a little rundown myself. I had top secret clearance. I worked on planes, not like those.
Right.
um,
Like those.
but yeah, I had top secret clearance, and but I've never experienced anything like that in the Navy. Of course, I was on
Yeah.
an aircraft carrier, but so this vehicle, and I've had experiences. I know what military vehicles look like.
Yeah.
They normally are white or black with either no plates or state plates, kind of like a government plate, like a
Yeah.
government vehicle, and then
Yeah.
it's all tinted out, all tinted
Yeah.
out. And so this thing comes up real fast behind us, and I told her to act natural. And I said, they're going to pass us. Yeah, because I see a signal on. I was like, they're going to pass us. When I tell you, pick up your drink out of the cup holder, take a sip, and put it back into the cup holder. And she's like, what is this? She was all
She's
frantic,
freaking out. Yeah.
like,
She's
what's
freaking
going
out.
on? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, just act natural. Act like you didn't see nothing. You know what I mean? Just play stupid. Act like you didn't see anything.
Right.
And so they pass us, and they slow down when they're right on the side of me. But
Right.
then they
Right.
sped up and then got in front of me, got over, and then they went up a ways, like went fast, and then apparently hit a turnout, turned back around, and came back towards us. And they realized when she took that sip and we were acting natural, looking straight ahead, not paying
Yeah.
attention.
Right.
But I was like, you know what we saw. I don't have to tell you what we
Right.
saw,
Now
but I
that
can tell you
that
this thing was cylindrical. It
yeah.
was about 15 feet high. It was about
Yeah.
22 feet wide.
Wow.
And it was big enough for somebody to be in, but I guarantee you it was unmanned.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would be in that thing.
Yeah.
It
No,
would
me
have
either.
to be unmanned. I
So
think
it's
it was a
really
drone,
yeah.
if you
So, but
will.
so
It
you
was an
came into
unmanned.
you had top security clearance. You come to a gate at this point where there was an Air Force base, and it was supposed to be abandoned, the whole area. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this unmarked vehicle following you. Correct?
Yes.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like instantly after they realized that I saw it.
Right. Do you think that
Like,
maybe
I
there was
wasn't supposed to be there.
right? Do you think there was an active underground base that is active there that they want people to think there's no base there, but they actually have a
Well,
multi-level
I've
facility?
looked
Where'd
it
they
up
come
on
from?
the map, because you can imagine if you had this experience, you would want to go back and look at MapQuest or look at
Yeah.
maps and try to find this spot again. And
hmm
I've tried to find the spot and it just doesn't exist now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there could be a dumb there, like you're saying. There could be a dumb there where it doesn't show up on the map. I don't know.
Yeah. They could have
But it,
changed
it
it.
it freaked me out.
Yeah. Now you had top
Yeah.
security clearance. So how high up did your clearance go?
I was F-18s. I'll say that much. I was
Okay.
F-18s. It wasn't anything special. I was a plane
Okay.
captain.
A plane captain. All right. But I'm interested. That story is interesting. And I think the fact that they were following you tells me there must have been some sort of a detection device or radar that it's like an Area 51 situation. The fact that there was a fence there,
Yeah.
were you like on the outer part of the fence or going through the inner part of the fence?
So basically, I'm on this tiny little 2-lane road that's just going past the place. And it
Okay.
wasn't like an Air Force base that you would know. Like, it didn't have like a gate guard. It wasn't, it was like, it wasn't supposed to really be an active base, if you will.
Yeah.
I think it was for testing. Because I've had a similar experience when I was in Nevada. Before I went into the Navy, I got recruited out of Nevada, and I was up on my cousin's roof one night, and we were just staring at the stars, sitting on the roof, and we're looking towards Area 51 since we're talking about it was in that direction, but this was Minden, Carson City area, and looking that direction towards the hills, and I see this blue light come up from the ground, and he's like, you see that? And it stopped like it was a star in the sky. And then all of a sudden it goes to the left, stops, goes back to the middle, stops, goes to the right, stops, goes back to the middle, stops, and then goes back down. And I can tell that was flight ops. That was flight ops, like they were practicing.
Doing something, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Cotton Eye Joe, I want to thank you for coming up here, man. And you'll probably be our last guest for tonight. We've had a lot of great guests, you included as the last one. And I'm following you, and I am actually following you. So definitely you can watch our show if you're new to it. We're on most nights at 11. Sometimes I take a break because, even I need a break sometimes. And but I do get on mostly at 11. And you'll hear all kinds of interesting interviews on the show and information.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You too, brother. Thank you so much for coming up. And we're going to let you down. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's now 2:07. I think it's time since 10:45, it's time for the commander to call it a night. We'll be on tomorrow night at 11. I want to thank you for all the gifts. Actually, this show will be recorded. This show is being recorded. It will be on the YouTube channel, Astronaut Command Spaceship News. You can watch all our previous shows, and please look for them. If you missed any of our previous shows, you can watch them on the YouTube channel. Everybody take care. Have a good night, and we'll catch you again on a show that's out of this world, Encounters. Take care, everybody. And we are here to bust the Matrix.